Rise above them all through love. A path was paved by heaven above. Preaching in the streets, spreading light, healing every blind man's sight. Walked on water, calmed the storm. The world was never meant to conform. He rose up high from the dust. In his name we place our trust. Took the cross for all our sins. In his grace our new life begins. Betrayed by those he came to save, still he walked into that grave. 3 days later stone was rolled, our salvation there foretold. From death to life he made the climb, defeated darkness every time. Now we sing in joyous sound for our King who wears the crown. He rose up high from the dust. In his name we place our trust. Took the cross for all our sins. In his grace our new life begins. He rose up high from the dust. In his name we place our trust. Took the cross for all our sins. In his grace our new life begins. Time has come, it's getting real. Jesus in the sky we feel. Crowns and thrones they all will bow. King of kings reigns here and now. Raise your hands, the King returns. Hearts on fire, praises burn. Judgment day, the end time clears. Feel the glory, no more tears. Trumpets sound, the angels sing. Voices rise in joy they bring. Light so bright it blinds our eyes. Jesus back, no disguise. Mountains moving, oceans part. Every knee will know their heart. Truth revealed, no more disguise. See the Savior realize. Raise your hands, the King returns. Hearts on fire, praises burn. Judgment day, the end time clears. Feel the glory, no more tears. Streets of gold and gates of pearl. New Jerusalem unfurls. Peace and love forever reign. In his presence, no more pain. Raise your hands, the King returns. Hearts on fire, praises burn. Judgment day, the end time clears. Feel the glory, no more tears. Raise your hands, the King returns. Hearts on fire, praises burn. Judgment day, the end time clears. Feel the glory, no more tears. Streets of gold and gates of pearl. New Jerusalem Wishing you light my darkest days, through the storm and all the haze. With you my fears just fade away. Your love turns all my nights to day. Even when the sky falls down, you keep me steady on the ground. In my heart, you're always found. With your love, I'm glory bound. Shine my sunshine, my endless light. In your love, the world feels right. Faithful through the hardest fight. With you, my love shines so bright. Through the pain and endless strain, you're my shelter from the rain. In your eyes, I see the flame of a love that won't wane. On the days I lose my way, you bring me back where I should stay. Guide me through the night today. In your arms I'm led to pray. Shine my sunshine, my endless light. In your love the world feels right. Faithful through the hardest fight. With you my love shines so bright. Shine my sunshine, my endless light. In your love the world feels right. Faithful through the hardest fight. With you my love shines so bright. Wearing my crown ain't a physical thing. Wanna give praise to the true King of Kings. Walking this path with my heart on my sleeve. Faith in my soul, you better believe. I am a child of God, lifting His name. Through every trial, His love stays the same. I am forgiven, I am set free, living my life for eternity. Life ain't easy, but I got His grace. Never alone in this fast-paced race. When I fall down, He lifts me up high. With Him beside me, I aim for the sky. I am a child of God, lifting His name. Through every trial, His love stays the same. I am forgiven, I am set free, living my life for eternity. Through every storm, His light shining bright, guiding my steps through the darkest night. Holding me close when I am weak, lifting me up when my words can't speak. I am a child of God, lifting His name. Through every trial, His love stays the same. I am forgiven, I am set free, living my life for eternity. Through every storm, His light shining bright, guiding my steps through the darkest night. Holding me close when I am weak, lifting me up when my words can't speak. I am a child of stranger, cold and bare, no crown yet he would dare rise above them all through love. A path was paved by heaven above. Preaching in the streets, spreading light, healing every blind man's sight. Walked on water, calmed the storm. The world was never meant to conform. He rose up high from the dust. In his name we place our trust. Took the cross for all our sins. In his grace our new life begins. Betrayed by those he came to save, still he walked into that grave. 3 days later a stone was rolled, our salvation there foretold. From death to life he made the climb, defeated darkness every time. Now we sing in joyous sound for our King who wears the crown. He rose up high from the dust. In his name we place our trust. Took the cross for all our sins. In his grace our new life begins. He rose up high from the dust. In his name we place our trust. Took the cross for all our sins. In his grace our new life begins. The time has come, it's getting real. Jesus in the sky we feel. Crowns and thrones they all will bow. King of kings reigns here and now. Raise your hands, the King returns. Hearts on fire, praises burn. Judgment day, the end time clears. Feel the glory, no more tears. Trumpets sound, the angels sing. Voices rise in joy they bring. Light so bright it blinds our eyes. Jesus back, no disguise. Mountains move and oceans part. Every knee will know their heart. Truth revealed, no more disguise. See the Savior realize. Raise your hands, the King returns. Hearts on fire, praises burn. Judgment day, the end time clears. Feel the glory, no more tears. Streets of gold and gates of pearl. New Jerusalem unfurls. Peace and love forever reign. In his presence, no more pain. Raise your hands, the King returns. Hearts on fire, praises burn. Judgment day, and time clears. Feel the glory, no more tears. Raise your hands, the King returns. Hearts on fire, praises burn. Judgment day, the end time clears. Feel the glory, no more tears. Streets of gold and gates of pearl. New Jerusalem unfurls. lost in shadows where the demons play, chasing dragons night and day. In the alley of despair I lay, till I found a light to show the way. Needles whispered lies in my ear, darkness cloaked my world with fear. Through the haze, a voice so clear called me back to skies so clear. Found my strength in the arms of grace, washed my sins in the holy place. Through the trials I can embrace the path of light God set in place. Battles fought in the midnight hour, found my heart in His great power. Left the streets where shadows cower, beneath His love that makes me tower. Tears were shed but not in vain, through the fire I'll rise again. Chains are broken, not restrained. In His name I feel no pain. Found my strength in the arms of grace, washed my sins in the holy place. Through the trials I can embrace the path of light God set in place. Were shed but not in vain.
Never in my life thought I would own a Birkin, and now I was gifted one. First, they basically gave me a lifetime supply of the Cushion Foundation. When I reviewed this, their sales skyrocketed. But when I opened it up and realized it was a Birkin? Was I just gifted a Birkin?
To live in a mansion and drive a Porsche or 3, you need to know how to manipulate, how to appear relatable. Make those silly little followers think you're just like them. Make them trust you. Make them love you. Then you need to know how to appeal to brands.
Morphe store. Morphe.
You need to be comfortable with saying and doing just about anything to maintain your status as a super influencer. And you absolutely need to feel comfortable enough to step on the toes of the little people in your pursuit of fame and fortune.
So long story short, Shayla, your engagement is as low as your IQ, no one f***s with you, all your friends talk shit behind your back, and you're
Sounds like a lot, doesn't it? Who would encompass all these impressive qualities? May I present to you the one, the only, Michaela Noguera. Let's rewind the clock back to 2017 when the beauty guru owned the land. They were big, they were bold, they were vicious, and just like the dinosaurs, they exploded into a fiery ball of drama that just about ended them. In trots Miss Michaela. Here she is, someone we can actually trust, who's not about the drama. She was basically the antidote to the traditional influence with her acne, small lips and curves and Boston accent.
Kim Kardashian, nice and sharp, nice and sharp, nice and sharp.
She wasn't some rich, privileged beauty guru sitting on her throne in her beauty room looking down at all the peasants. No, she was one of us.
Let me just leave this here as well. 13.5 million of us follow Michaela. We follow her because of her, and you can't fake that shit.
However, over the years, this once relatable queen rose up the ranks of the beauty guru hierarchy to take over the game. She now boasts an impressive 16 million followers on TikTok alone. That's a lot of people.
Just remember, there was once a younger version of you that didn't think you'd make it here till today. But they're looking at you now, very proud and very thankful. Keep going.
I'm sorry, I can't. I just find stuff like that so cringe. I know I'm a Grinch, and this should actually be very sweet. But when you see what this gorgeous young lady turned into, it's suddenly not that sweet anymore, and it kind of leaves a sour taste in your mouth. With the growth in her following and bank account, she, who was once the answer to the beauty community's prayers, has turned into one of the naughtiest, most dishonest, manipulative influencers in the game. It's really quite impressive, actually. She has managed to make even the worst beauty gurus look like angels, and that's saying something.
Every single day, I get up at 6 a.m. I spend about 5 to 6 hours filming video content. I spend a few hours editing that video content. Then I have to work on my other social media profiles, whatever it may be, Instagram, whatever. I'm in meetings from 12 to 5. I literally just finished work and it's 5:19. Try being an influencer for a day. Try it. Because the people who say it's easy are so far out of their minds, try it for a day. It is not for everybody. In fact, it's for a very small handful of people who can actually do this job. You do not want to have this job.
I need to start off by saying that I love Michaela. She seemed like a really down-to-earth, great, really super relatable influencer. You are so incredibly lucky, Michaela, to be in the position that you're in. Your salary, your paychecks are way higher for the amount of work that you have to do, for the skill set of work that you have to do. I'm a fan of a lot of influencers, but the second that they start talking like this, it's not cute.
If you guys haven't heard about Lashgate, I envy you because that means that you do not live on the internet and you probably have a life outside of social media. So let me fill you in.
This literally just changed my life. This looks like false. This is how? What? It's this L'Oreal telescopic lift. Look at the wand. Okay, so basically I'm taking the curved side and I'm going root to tip and I'm satin to coat the lashes. And then once you've done that, you flip the brush to the side and you use the hook comb to basically separate. This is one coat. Okay, I'm gonna add a second. Look at the length. Do you see that? I am speechless. And I'm not sure anyone's gonna ever be able to compete with this mascara.
Makeup by Michaela drama is everywhere at the minute, so here's a super quick rundown if you missed it. Michaela posted a TikTok review on the L'Oreal Telescopic Lift Mascara. She's raving about it, saying how good it is. In a few seconds, her lashes literally go from this to this. People are speculating that she's just put on false lashes on the end, which looks like it's true. In response to all this drama, Jeffree Star has basically come out of retirement to post an honest review of the mascara.
It looks peculiar. It looks bizarre. The mascara's on, it looks cute, and then all of a sudden there's a swish, and all of a sudden there's some extra shit on the end.
And of course, in the honest review, Michaela is raving about her lashes. But there is good reason that her lashes look so good. It is because Michaela cut the video, went off screen, applied fake eyelashes, and then came back on screen like, oh my god, guys, this mascara is amazing.
I'm not sure anyone's gonna ever be able to compete with this mascara.
I mean, of course no one can compete with that mascara because it's fucking fake eyelashes, not mascara. And the fact that she made this video where she talks about how brands lie to their customers about the performance of their mascara by using none other than false lashes.
The difference in my lashes with this mascara is absolutely incredible. It truly did a phenomenal job. I mean, literally, just look at the difference. So I just lied straight to your face, and you probably believed it. These lashes, totally fake. And that's what brands do. They lie to you about how things work. Would you have known these were false lashes? Maybe not. You are someone who doesn't have a lot of lashes, doesn't know how to apply lashes, or just wants a little lash lift, this video is for you. Out the gate, let's start by applying 2 coats of your favorite mascara. We want to achieve the fuller lash look. We're going to use the Kiss Lash Couture Faux Lash Extension. Literally going to take the piece and just lay it right on your lashes and press it down. Put about 5 pieces. Then go ahead and apply 1 final coat of mascara. How would they know? How would they know?
How would they know indeed? One fan commented, wait, are you not wearing false lashes? And Michaela, in true narcissistic fashion, replies, no, oh my god, L'Oreal would never allow that. But you're proving my point. Like, that is just pure and utter gaslighting because, girl, you do have false lashes on. We can literally see them. And then to another fan who questioned whether she was wearing false eyelashes because we do have eyes, she doubles down and she says she's wearing 3 or 4 coats of mascara. That's a ton of mascara. If anything, applying that much mascara to your eyelashes is not going to make them look long and fluffy. It's going to make them look like spider legs.
This literally just changed my life. This looks like false light. This is how.
Like, I just don't get it, okay? Imagine having millions and millions of people who trust you and go to you for your honest reviews, and then you just knowingly lie to them to make a quick buck when you're already filthy rich. And for anyone who wants to defend this kind of influencer behavior, let me just tell you this, that is literally against the law. Like, that is literally false advertising. Brands are not allowed to do this. They actually have to say now if a model is wearing false eyelashes in their advertisement. Michaela is literally not allowed to deceive people like this just to line her own pockets. But it does surprise me that L'Oreal did not come out publicly to condemn Michaela's review when they realized that she was showing their product in a misleading light. I know she was trying to make her lashes look as epic as possible so more people would rush out and buy the mascara, and then L'Oreal would be like, wow, Michaela's a great influencer, let's pay her again and again. But what she's actually done is prove that the mascara is not actually that good because she had to wear false lashes to make it look better than it actually is. I'm surprised now that L'Oreal was not angry about that. Now, obviously, her fans were devastated when they realized that they had been lied to. I know it's a parasocial relationship, but they don't actually know Michaela, but some people may not have a lot of female friends or relationships in their life, and they really do feel a bond and strong loyalty to their favorite influencer. So to be lied to and treated like nothing more than a worthless number, just another dollar, is pretty hurtful. And do you know what makes this even worse? And it's this kind of behavior that gives influencers as a whole a very, very bad name, is the fact that Michaela herself says that she studied the effect of social media on women.
When I was going for my master's degree, it was in communication theory, and I actually studied the effects of social media on women. I think what people don't maybe know about me is that I went to school for this.
Quick pause to thank this video's sponsor, Pi.org. You know when you're just minding your own business, maybe you're shopping for clothes that you don't really need but you want, and you just want to browse the web in peace, but you find yourself constantly fending off those annoying pop-up ads. Like, you get rid of one, and then another one pops up, so you click the X on that, and then it's like 5 more pop up until you feel like your brain is going to explode. Girl, you need an ad blocker. With Pi, you can choose to block all ads and browse to your heart's content without being constantly interrupted by ads for things you would never buy, like arseless chaps. Thank you, Temu, but not this time. Pi protects your sanity and will keep those annoying ads from disturbing your peace. Or alternatively, you can choose to view the ads and Pi will reward you for viewing them. And even better, Pi has a shopping tool that gives you cash back on purchases, and it even goes to the effort of searching for coupon codes for you. You see, most cashback or shopping extensions aren't compatible with ad blockers, and this prevents you from getting cashback. But Pi has taken care of it for you. Pi is so brilliant that there are now over 1 million people using it every single day. And it's free. So you can click the link in the description box down below and download the Chrome extension immediately so that you can stop being bombarded with ads this second, or you can choose to be rewarded for the time you spend viewing those ads. Either way, it's a win. You can go to pi.org/Stephanie Lang to download it right now, or you can just click the link in the description box down below. There's this one video where Michaela is being paid to review an Essence mascara. I love Essence, okay? Essence is a great brand. But halfway through, she forgets that she's actually meant to be using the Essence mascara, and you can see that she's actually used a Maybelline mascara that she obviously likes and obviously does give good results to make the Essence mascara look better on her eyelashes.
This is the new Essence Call Me Queen mascara. Curl the lashes. It has this really flexible wand. Supposed to give a nice flared effect. Okay, that before and after, it's pretty freaking good. Okay, that before and after, it's pretty freaking good.
Michaela, did you learn absolutely nothing from the last mascara gate? I don't understand how this made the cut. Unless she has an editing team that perhaps kept that in the edit, like, just to be like, this is who this really is. She obviously has a favorite mascara and knew that this mascara was going to get her the effect that she wanted for this video. Honestly, could this not get her in trouble? Because you can't say that one product does something that it doesn't do and use things to make it seem like it does do that thing just to trick people into buying something.
Unbelievable. And you know you're going down the wrong path as an influencer, and that maybe you need to give your head a wobble and rethink your shit when other influencers start publicly denouncing you.
I am so shocked right now, and I feel like I'm gonna regret posting this. I was on TikTok and I saw like a big influencer who like I respect, and like she's awesome, and I like her TikToks a lot. But I just saw a sponsored post. I'm like shaking because I'm so shocked. But it was about a mascara. And when she shows like the finished product of the second coat, she's like wearing Ardell Demi Wispies or something. Like there's falsies there. Like it's very clear. It's very, very clear. But she's saying that they're not falsies, it's just the mascara. I'm just like, damn. That really sucks. Like for the rest of us who are so honest, that really sucks. Kind of disappointed me, but what can you do?
She kind of released the Kraken and she woke me up, and I was so surprised that we're living in an era where people accept liars as entertainment. Not that they ever haven't before, but the beauty world, we kind of had a lot of respect. Now there's girls making hundreds of thousands of dollars by lying, and I just thought it was very disturbing.
Is that like a new thing, that people kind of lying about the products because they're getting paid, or do you feel
I think it's always been going on, but people really didn't get away with it, where nowadays more people are doing it. There's so much money in the beauty world, and she's making millions a month. And it was the way that the video was cut. It was like she did the one coat, she did two, and it was actually pretty, and then she goes away and it comes back and there's this whole extra little guy on the end.
You could see the separation.
You could see the separation of the real lash versus the fake.
Okay.
And it was like a big moment of like, wow, this girl that we all love and fell in love with during the pandemic, maybe a fucking liar.
We're going to move on from Michaela because this video is not about Michaela, although it could be about Michaela because she's done so many naughty things. Do you know what really makes people feel good whilst in the midst of a cost of living crisis where people are being forced to choose between heating their stone cold house or eating that day? Listening to out of touch influencers ranting to their audience who actually gave them the platform and privilege that they currently experience about how hard living the influencer life is and how it sucks to be so rich and how difficult it is to muster the energy to post 3 TikTok videos a week. It really warms the heart. It really puts the average person's problems into perspective. There is a reason why so-called influencers get a bad name. Like, I think we've all met someone at this stage who you ask them, hi, what's your name? They're like, I'm an influencer. And it's like, oh, you are you? Or you look at their Instagram and in big bold writing, like the first thing it's like, influencer. There's just something so damn snooty about declaring that you yourself influence people. And I mean, maybe you do. Or maybe you don't. But doesn't it just make you cringe all the way down to the soles of your feet? This next influencer is so out of touch, it actually makes me laugh. Just watch this.
I have been paralyzed trying to find or looking at furniture for the new house. I'm actually, what I was sharing of Lacey a little bit ago, we are going back to Florida next Thursday because the boys will have basketball and baseball tryouts on Friday and Saturday, I think. So I'm going to go and measure for things, but I'm looking at like a couch. God, what the fuck are my kids doing? Hold on. Back to the furniture. I am totally fine slowly furnishing the new house, but I want to make sure when we're there, everybody has a bed set up and ready to go, and we have a couch, and that there is some sort of patio furniture situation in the backyard, and a TV. Well, let's be honest, I need a living room TV, master bedroom, kids' rooms, because you ain't talking to me. Like, I don't know. Go to your room. And then, I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot. I just bought 3 washers and dryers yesterday because we, at this house, the actual main house is, I think, maybe even more than this, 1,000 square feet smaller than our house, which I'm totally fine with.
I'm so sorry to interrupt. I know I'm being snarky now, but is this content? Is this really what passes as content nowadays? I mean, my content is probably just as boring, but I can't see it because I'm in my own life and I think it's interesting. But tell me, guys, someone droning on and on and on about all the things they have to buy for their huge new house. I'm falling asleep watching this.
But then, if you're not from Florida, or if you've never heard of this before, we have a carriage house, which is like an apartment above the garage. So when we have family and friends come to stay, I think it's like 800 square feet, and it's got a full kitchen, full washer and dryer, bedroom, living room, bathroom.
Does anyone else feel like this lady is creating problems in her own life for no real reason? Like, lady, you don't actually need a TV in every damn room of your house. Less is more. Surely you do not need 3 dryers and washers. Like, how many clothes do you guys wear? You are creating this hardship for yourself.
Anyway, all that to say, I need to get at least the couch ordered right away. Oh shit, I need to get the blinds put up too. There's a lot of shit to do.
It's over, thank God. Look, honestly, I'm glad for her that she can afford this new house and she can afford all these brand new things. We love that for her. And I can empathize that moving house is hard work. It's very tedious. I've done it so many times. But a little humility would go a long way. So maybe just having a little bit of gratitude that you have been blessed with this big new house and the finances to kit it out to the nth degree would be good. It might make your problems seem smaller. Like, just settle down a little bit, okay? Come back down to reality. Okay, guys, oh my gosh, this next influencer really boils my piss. I'm sorry, that's a terrible phrase. I just thought it suited how I was feeling whilst watching this. This next influencer made a video whining about how hard it is to be an influencer. And bear in mind, before we watch this video, that this lady has built a following of almost 2 million individual people on TikTok from posting videos of herself eating food. Literally just that. Eating eggs, eating sausages. Lots and lots of sausages. Honestly, I have never seen someone eat so many sausages in my life. Like, is this playing into some kind of fetish thing? Like, I don't really know how TikTok works. Or does she just genuinely really enjoy sausages for every meal? Now, clearly, considering that we all eat food or we would die, recording a 5-second snippet of you eating the meal that you would be eating whether you filmed yourself for TikTok or not is not exactly riveting, thought-provoking content that takes an enormous amount of time and effort to produce, which is why I struggle to understand this video.
Okay, so today we are going to chat about something that I wanted to talk to you guys about. So as an influencer, right, we go through a lot that just like normal people don't go through. And I'm telling you this because I was once a normal person. I still am a normal person, but I have to deal with the life of social media, which is very different than a standard person's life in terms of what we go through, especially in terms of mental health. I would say, like, mainly in terms of mental health. And for all the creators on this app, right, like, we go through so much, and we are basically expected to go through it alone, because anytime we try to like say what's going on or whatever, like what we're going through, people are like, stop talking about it. We just want to see your content, right? Like, so for me, we don't want to hear you complaining about what you're going through and your battles. We just want your content, right?
Okay, my thoughts. I do hear her, surprisingly, when she says that being an influencer and dealing with social media has impacted her mental health. I agree. I've been there. But that is not exclusive to just influencers. Most people, when on social media too much, find that their mental health is impacted negatively. I mean, there's countless studies that literally prove this. And when you become so out of touch that you think that just because you are an influencer, which, by the way, is a choice, like, I'm sure nobody held a gun to this lady's head and was like, you will become an influencer or else. And when you choose to influence people as your career, it's going to come with positives and negatives, just like social media usage and all jobs and careers in general.
And it's really like, it's hard because it's very heavy. Like what the amount of bullying we go through is really heavy. And then anytime influencers try to come and talk about it, we're basically told to shut up. So shut up, stop complaining, and da-da-da-da-da. The moment that I signed up for this app and showed my face, people hated me. It doesn't matter who you are. If you read creators' comments, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what you stand for. As long as you decide to share your life publicly, people are going to destroy you. I just want to let you guys know that this industry is rough. It is rough out here, and there is no punishment for people. They can do whatever they want. They can start whatever rumor they want about you. They can make it a fact because they can spread it, and then another person can spread it, and another person can spread it until it becomes true. There doesn't have to be any validity. And then people want you to address things that are none of their business. It is crazy. And this is me on my scale with my little 1 million, but imagine people with 5, 10, 15, 20 million or big celebrities and the shit that they deal with and their mental health. And every time they try to talk about it, oh, don't talk about it. Stick to whatever you're supposed to be doing. Like, anyways, that's the vibe for today. That's all I'm doing with my hair, and I'm living the rest. Frizzy. I'm doing that for my trolls.
But to sit here whinging about how hard it is that no one wants to hear about your battles or what you're going through. Like, are you paying your audience to be your free therapists? Or do you just assume that because they are your lowly minions, that they should just sit there and listen to you complain? And that just because you are an influencer, your followers now have some kind of duty to you to listen to your problems? Life does not work like that, okay? Social media doesn't work like that. I'm not saying that what she's saying is not valid. Yes, social media as a job does come with its drawbacks. I know that. But when your followers are literally telling you that they don't want to watch videos of you complaining, they don't want to know about your problems, they want to see videos of you eating sausages, listen to them. Posting content of you eating food is now your job. If you made it to the end of this video, as always, come over and say hi on Instagram. I promise I won't complain about my life. I promise I will not bore you with my problems unless you ask. And leave me the jellyfish emoji, if you can find it.
There's been a big, like, kind of shift of a lot of people trying to basically just pretend to be rich. Like, it's just it's so weird.
This is my morning routine. I'm currently waking up at 5:30. I'm reading the 5 a.m. club, so this inspires me to do this. Then have some electrolytes, get hydrated as soon as possible. And I turn my sauna on, write down my dark thoughts.
5 a.m. club, holy shit. It has changed my life.
Being part of the 5 a.m. club has changed my life. See, I've always been more of a night owl, with my most productive moments being during the afternoon until late at night. But now that I started setting my alarm at 5 a.m., I wake up so tired and pissed off that every time of day feels like the late afternoon. First thing I do is watch my favorite YouTube video.
Am I the only person that, like, waking up? So it doesn't really matter when you wake up. It matters also when you go to bed. Like, as long as you get 8 hours and you're waking up before you have to, like, do something, then I feel like it doesn't really matter if you're waking up at 5 a.m. or 9 a.m. or 1 p.m. It shouldn't matter at all. Like, this is like, it's like such a weird flex about how early you wake up in the day. What the fuck?
While talking with the voices in my head that came from sleep deprivation. Then, by 6:30, after my second alarm since I fell asleep again, I finally gathered the strength to stop snoozing and get coffee brewing. At 7, my brain is finally able to process information, so I start watching my favorite influencer.
There you go.
Wait a second. That clock says 7:15. You're telling me
So nobody caught this because nobody can read clocks. And she just posted it because she probably couldn't read the clock either. This is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Wow.
You're telling me influencer number 12,752 is lying to me?
Imagine that.
What the Hey, my bowl of cereal, is it just me, or are influencers making life way too complicated? Just last week, I've had 37 different influencers in my feed, each telling me how to live, how to become happy and successful.
If you want to be successful at a young age, you have to be really intentional with your goals.
You have to be a literal rat.
You have to be a bitch. You're only depressed when you have time to be depressed.
I don't know if I'm the only one, but while at first constantly being exposed—
Oh my god. I just like these people, what a rat. It's just like a lot of the like advice that people like that give. There's like an element of truth to it where it's like you can't be depressed if you're like stressed out and worried about 50 other things. Or like, let's say there is a crocodile that's desperately trying to run after you to eat you. You're probably not going to be depressed while you're running away from the crocodile. That's probably true, because you're gonna, yeah, it's good, yeah, or Mudang in a few years, exactly. Burn yourself out instead? Yeah, clearly.
To people who are seemingly more successful than I am, telling me what to do, was at first just making me feel bad about my own shortcomings. Right. It's now getting to a point that it's just driving me insane. With all their different rules and all their different lifestyles, most of them conflict.
Why you should work night shift? Why I tell my patients if they work night shifts, they're increased risk of psoriasis? Oh god.
Thing with one another, but you still need to implement all of them. Otherwise, you'll go through life feeling miserable, according to them.
You're only depressed when you have time to be depressed.
But honestly, their lifestyle tips are just getting stupid.
I never do dishes. Why would I waste my time cleaning dishes?
Overconsumption is
no, bro. This guy is he is like just the way he's talking. I think that he's farming. I do. I think he's farming. There's not like, yeah, that's not, it gets you. I think he's just bullshitting because that's clearly a dish you're going to have to wash. Like, and also, by the way, I do the same thing. I only use paper plates and plastic forks.
Cleaning dishes.
Overconsumption is not at all problematic and will make you happy, so...
Overconsumption core? I love how, like, I guess it's like a Gen Z thing or like a younger millennial thing where it's like now what we're going to do is we're going to create new vocabulary that makes the retarded mental disorders that we have seem like they're cool, quirky personality traits. So instead of being addicted to shopping or being bad with money, now I'm overconsumption core. You know, like now I'm not hoarding. Yeah. Like, it's just, it's so fucking annoying. Yeah, I'm not materialistic. I'm overconsumption core. Nuts.
Spend $5,000 a month on skincare. Buy this useless product.
You find the perfect, what is this here? Perfect pen for your ADHD. What color is that guy's hand? That's funny. That's really funny.
Make sure to stock your entire fridge with about $500 of soda, snacks, and energy drinks. Because I really need my daily intake of Baby Bell cheeses and Gatorade. Yeah, I want the diet of a toddler, or else I'm gonna get cranky. Drink coffee every 3 hours while fitnessing and
Grind
working.
core Sunday morning study cardio session featuring black
on a Sunday to stay on that grind set. Get up at 5 a.m. every single day, including weekends, so you can spend 3 hours on cleaning, making coffee and fitness all alone by yourself, just so you can start working at 8 or 9 a.m. and get off at 5 p.m. like everybody else except
See, like for me, I wake up usually and I'll usually lay in bed for like an hour and like catch up with everything that I missed and like, you know, do any sort of like follow-up messages with people. Like I do most of my like business laying in bed. Like at night, and like as soon as I end my stream, I'll go lay in bed and then look at all the messages that I've missed and things people have sent me. It's awesome. Yes, exactly. Like I think that probably 5 out of 5 of the last like business calls I've had, I have not taken a single one not laying down. I've just been laying down the whole time. Yeah, laying in bed. Yeah, exactly. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, who gives a shit?
Everyone else is having fun after work. You're now exhausted and have to get to bed by 8 or 9 p.m. to maintain your recommended 8 to 9 hour sleep schedule that these influencers are also preaching you to do. So stupid. To no one's surprise, most of their lifestyle
have an absolute orgy. Here are my thoughts into my post-workout. The fitness industry has a very good blueberries. What the fuck?
Tips and tricks are just nuggets of pseudo-wisdom.
Here is exactly why you should avoid eating salad for your health.
With no scientific backing that they try to sell as these grandiose keys to success.
Keep those layers coming off.
No, I think he's cooking. I want to hear what he was going to say. I agree with him. I think he's right.
Bit by bit, and you will one day look back and compare your previous letter self to your new letter self. Look at that definition. Look at that definition.
Even though they might seem incredibly stupid, they aren't. Okay, some of them are, but most of them are aware of the fact that what they preach is just over-romanticized bullshit. The 5 AM rule, for example, is based on a book, The 5 AM Club, written by Robin Sharma, a wise philosopher in the eyes of the lifestyle influencer, and a fraud in those of
fraud, scam artist in sheep's clothing. I mean, yeah, of course, right? I mean, I think people focus so much on trying to get ahead, they don't have enough time to get ahead. I see this all the time where people get so focused on the process and being in the mindset of doing something that they never actually focus on making any meaningful progress. People are just lazy. Yeah. And I think that, well, what I'm saying is, like, people get involved with the aesthetic of working hard and they stop actually working. I see streamers do this all the time. Streamers will get hyper-focused around streaming for long periods of time. And the problem is that they're like, oh, I'm grinding. Like, yeah, you're grinding, but you shouldn't be. You should be making better content. Like, just more, like, working harder. Working hard is, it's good, but if you're not doing something that's efficient, then you're just wasting your time. Yes, I'll say I'm grinding. Exactly, yeah.
Professional book reviewers. They describe his book as follows. The entire book feels like everything someone who hates self-help books would claim are the worst things about them.
What?
Cliché. Just a ploy to get money from the masses of sheeple. A bunch of obvious material you learned by the time you were 13.
I'm gonna be honest, that is most self-help stuff. It's the obvious things that everybody knows. Wake up early, exercise, eat good food, and don't focus on things that make you mad. Wow. Fucking crazy. Can you believe that? Oh my god.
So, pretty much a manifesto for lifestyle influencers to peddle to their viewers and take all of their money.
This book is freaking trash.
You think these guys actually wake up at 5 every single day because it's some magical key to success? Fuck no! Making you believe they do is their magical key to success. They can't even put in the effort to do it at least once for their TikTok preaching about the 5 AM club. This girl tried her best changing the hour on her car dashboard, but the clock at the gym says 7:15. And this guy was caught lying.
Who does this?
Because he lives in Tennessee, where during the months of October, November, which is the time at which he uploaded this reel, there is no sunlight until about 7. Yet he's out at 5:30 and there's already more sunlight than the average day in Belgium.
You can't even be bothered to wake up at 5 AM for real one time for a video? Why? Why? Just do it one time and say you do it every day. Like, I mean, you can't even do it once. Like, I easily could assume, like, okay, they do it one day and then they record the video and they say I do this every day, but they don't actually do it every day. These people don't even do it the first time. He looked dead on the camera. It's just like they didn't go to bed earlier. It's one day. It's a scam. What time do you wake up? I usually wake up at 10 to 11, and I usually go to bed around 2 to 3, something like that. That's me, for the most part.
then have some electrolytes, get hydrated as soon as possible. This has been a game changer for me.
Gee, he's really hammering down on those electrolytes.
Oh, wow.
Might it be because he's secretly sponsored by them? Which brings me to the reason that I wanted to make this video.
It's just about making money. Like, you want to know the real way that a lot of the self-help gurus make money? By being self-help gurus. They're like, yeah, let me show you how to be a millionaire. And it's like, buy my course. And where do they make all their money? Selling courses. Like, what is this?
Of lifestyle influencers that made their entire career on nothing but lies and fake wealth is insane. Which I wouldn't care about if they weren't purposefully, directly, and negatively manipulated. I mean...
Well, they make people feel like they're inferior and that they're not doing enough with their life. And I think that there's like a big focus now, like culturally, on FOMO, like people that are constantly afraid of missing out on this or that thing. And so everything is built around that. So you have these people that are selling and kind of like playing into this like fixation around trying to live your life in the most like hyper optimized way. And I think that at a certain point, you're just like, you optimize out the human experience of life. And I find it to be like there's no mindfulness, there's no, like living with yourself, there's no calm, there's just you being hyper fixated around doing the next thing. It's not demure. It's not demure at all, okay? Yes, very true. American Psycho Core, yeah. Min-maxing it? Yeah, you're min-maxing life, exactly. And it's too much, man.
Influencing people with their lies. Because their success is built on their viewers feeling unfulfilled in life and idolizing them. And they lie about everything.
I have been paralyzed trying to find or looking at furniture for the new house. We are going back to...
Man, that sucks. Wow.
Florida. God, what the fuck are my kids doing? Hold on. I want to make sure when we're there, well, let's be honest. I need a living room TV, master bedroom, kids' rooms, because you ain't talking to me. Like, I don't know. Go to your room. I just bought 3 washers and dryers yesterday because we, at this house, there's a lot of shit to do.
Oh, man. Moving...
Man. Rich lady, yeah. And you can see the husband's probably not even at the house. It's a smart guy. 3 washers. Jesus, what a waste of fucking money. What a massive waste of money.
From my first mansion into my second...
Yeah, he's just working to pay for the 4th washer.
Mansion without having to sell my first one is so stressful. I had to open my laptop.
And here's the other thing is that like all the stuff that she's talking about, like each TV, like I know what a new TV costs. It's usually about like $2,000, right? Like a good one, a really good TV. So like this is $12,000, a good washer and dryer combo. Like I think whenever I bought them, it's about $1,000. So it's probably like a little bit more. 2,000, what the fuck? This is a good one, right? $2,000. I know, I'm talking like a good TV, like a good TV. Like, do you think this woman's buying the fucking the like knockoff brand? No, she's buying the Samsung OLED 65-inch smart TV. Okay, with her husband's credit card. So yes, it's going to be a $2,000 TV. So anyway, like all of this money that you're putting together, this is like $20,000. And it's like, yeah, that's a lot of money, but who the fuck brags about being able to spend $20,000? Because like, think about people that like actually make a lot of money. Is this really impressive that you spent $20,000? It's rich people? It's not, though. It's like people that are like upper middle class that have a lot of money to spend on stupid shit. People that are fake rich? Yes.
Up and order 6 TVs and 3 dryers because our new house is just so big. Oh wait, no. Even this completely out of touch story, devoid of any relatability, is actually just a pity ad for the 3 washers and dryers she bought.
Yeah, 15. Yeah. Yep, there it is.
And while I'm aware that many
wait, so it was just an ad? How do you know it's an ad?
Story, devoid of any relatability, is actually just a pity ad.
Yeah, it's an affiliate link code. I'm pretty sure it is. Because if you look at this, this is, like, the way this is formatted, this seems like an affiliate link. It's a referral code? Yeah, so she gets a like, because this is what a lot of, I think this is, like, really kind of a sad thing that, like, a lot of women do, is that they'll look at, like, a woman like that, and they'll be like, oh, she has the perfect life, right? She's rich, she's attractive, she has kids, and everything. And so they'll try to buy and live the way that she lives and buys things. And so, yeah, it actually is very, very common.
For the 3 washers and dryers she bought. And while I'm aware that many influencers seem as if they're this successful or rich, most of them simply aren't. These guys don't own a private jet.
Well, it's also like, here's another big factor. I've seen like these videos where like a guy will come up to a dude that's on like a private jet and he'll be like, you know, how did you make your money? And this guy's wearing like an Arizona State t-shirt and like Nike like basketball shorts, and he pulled up on like, you know, his like Honda Civic or something like that. It's like the people that actually own private jets aren't wasting their money on this shit. Like, they don't need to show off with, like, a handbag because they have a private fucking jet and, like, probably a company they own. It's just so weird. Like, and this is, I think it's, like, what's kind of sad about it is that a lot of these, like, kind of, like, brands, like the, you know, like Gucci and stuff like that, they really only work for flexing on, like, other people that are also kind of dumb with money. Like, you're not going to wear a Gucci bag to, like, some actual, like, you know, think about like, any sort of, like, I'm trying to think of a good example, like a networking event for venture capitalists, right? People that actually make a lot of money. Do you think any of them are really going to be impressed by the fact that you have a Gucci bag? No. Nobody's going to care. No, nobody's going to give a shit. So it's just only something to impress, like, people that are broke.
Rent a photo studio for $75 an hour with a group of 10 with free parking. That's why more and more of these private jet photo studios are.
This is nuts. You can rent a private grounded jet just to take Instagram photos in it. Who does this? Oh my god.
So they can pretend they own one and make you feel bad in the process for actually having your life together. Because where's your private jet, broke boy? Everything to desperately maintain this facade of success, to keep flexing on their viewers like insecure douchebags, so that they're
it's also not very, it's not smart to even do that. The only people that need private jets are like a handful of guys that need to go around and do business deals, or like if you're a pop star like Taylor Swift needs a private jet. Like, most normal people don't need private jets. Like, it's not, you don't need this. Yeah, a politician needs it. It's not point, there's like no point to it.
Will keep idolizing them and do whatever they tell them to do, and they can squeeze as much money as possible out of them. And I'm not only talking about the alpha male grind set douchefluencers that we already knew were full of BS. There's so many lying authentic influencers, each with fake wealth, that the term
empty what is this here? Influencers are no influences. This is so sad, bro. This is actually so fucking sad. They're buying empty shopping bags to pretend they're rich. Bro, how down bad do you have to be to do this? It's insane. XQC now takes private jets like Aiden too. He justifies it by saying it's not a lot. It's crazy. Yeah, but they have like tons of money, right? Like, that's fine. But like, a lot of these people don't have tons of money. And also, like, he doesn't, isn't it XQC is able to take the private jets if he goes to like Las Vegas because like the casinos pay for it? I'm pretty sure they're the ones. So it's actually not even him paying for it in the first place. Yeah, exactly, right? Why do you think the casinos are paying for it? I don't know. I mean, he is spending the money. It's just not on the private jet. He'll spend the money after he gets off the jet. Yeah, it's an investment. It is.
The term pseudo-authentic influencer is now a thing. Faking authenticity, success, and legitimacy so you trust them, and they can sell you more products and services.
Irich's emotional breakup to promote a hair repair shampoo. Post-breakup reset. God, man. Like, what the hell is going on? How do people buy into this? It's amazing. I'm, like, shocked.
Services that they don't use and you don't really need. This influencer with 1.1 million followers took a picture in front of an empty seat in business class with ads and then had to sit on her egg.
I'm gonna be honest. Anytime that I see a girl in a private jet, I assume that the reason why, especially if it's a pretty girl like this, I assume the reason why is some rich guy is flying her out somewhere to fuck her. Every single time. So it's like, I mean, and by the way, this is not really impressive to me.
Actual seat in economy class, like the rest of us peasants. You know those traveling influencers preaching that you'll achieve happiness by spending...
Hashtag ad, never give up on your dreams to see the world. The first one. These videos are seriously getting on my nerves. Not everyone can afford to travel. We're barely surviving with this pandemic. Shit. Oh my god, no wonder people want communism. They get to watch these fake fucks fly around on fake jets. It's so fucking pathetic. How does anybody buy into this? Yeah, of course they want, bro, they want a revolution. They're fake it till you make it? I guess so.
Your entire life savings on vacations? Yeah, they don't really live a life of
Read the room, mates. Only if you can afford it. Tell me you have money without telling me. Jesus, man. People are fucking mad. And these are all from 2021 comments, too.
Traveling, usually they'll go on like a single vacation paid by some resort or company in exchange for advertising, and then take hundreds of pictures all in different...
this is what happens. It happens a lot with South Korea. So South Korean companies, a lot of them will pay for content creators to go there, and this is true for like plastic surgery, and it's also true for like other types of like advertising. It's an advertisement. And what's funny about this is that a lot of these influencers are exactly what that's what they are. They're influencing people, like, and people think that there's like some sort of like greater degree of connection between a person making an advertisement for you and a marketing company making an advertisement for you. You're both being advertised to. That's it. And some people are just like, I feel like Hong Kong, there's no difference. There's not really, right? Have you been invited? I've had a lot of opportunities to travel and have everything paid for multiple things, like domestic and international. I don't really like doing it. I don't like traveling a whole lot. And like what I really like doing is I like working. I like doing my stream. And I would be willing to travel if I thought it was something that was very beneficial for me. But personally, it's not something that I enjoy on a general level, right?
Outfits with backgrounds that could literally be the backdrop of any vacation destination in the world. And then they'll post a few pictures every few weeks with different lied about locations added to those posts.
11 ways luxury influencers lie to their followers. Yes, thank God.
Or, you know, you could just Photoshop your travel pics like this influencer.
Who does? What?
Like 570,000 followers.
Jesus.
Here you have her with the beautiful skyline of New York, except it's missing an entire skyscraper. And
hey, at least the Twin Towers aren't in the photo.
And unless if she has learned a way to not just influence her viewers, but also
that'd be a
physics,
good one.
A window reflection should reflect the side of your body facing it, not your back facing away from it.
They just took
look,
another version.
Here she's at the Taj Mahal with her shadow apparently allergic to water. Her dress and handbag vaporizing in thin air. Stone grooves extending into the pool. And Photoshop birds on top of it all.
That's low. You're photoshopping birds in? That's like, that is fucking shameless. Who does this?
I mean, honestly, these trees look kind of weird. But this one looks even weirder because it's growing out of her head.
What the
Don't get me
fuck?
started on those Dubai influencers. I don't want to see a big shiny.
I think that if you replace Dubai influencer with Dubai escort, I think that you wouldn't change the meaning 95% of the time. I'm just gonna. That's just what I think, right? That's just. I mean, that's just my opinion, right? What do I know, guys? The Venn diagram's almost a circle. Yeah.
Tiny tower that looks pretty from the outside but doesn't have much going on under its surface. Not even a sewage system where everyday trucks have to transport 7 tons of poop out of to keep up the facade of superficial perfection. What is this? An allegory for influencers? Talking about superficial. You know those designer clothing influencers flexing on you with their $5,000 Chanel trash bag shirts? Most of them are fake.
Wait, what? Korea's biggest fashion influencer is busted wearing a fake Chanel designer knockoffs as she's forced to issue a groveling apology just weeks after gaining millions of followers on hit Netflix show Singles Inferno. Oh, that's like a Korean like fucking dating show, right? It's you can't even spend like you know what? Bro, Netflix? Like, they need to pay this girl more money. This is a really, like, I know about this show. It's a Korean dating show. I know about it. I should not be the target audience for this. I know about the show. You're telling me you can't even give this girl $5 grand? What the fuck are they paying them over there? That's not even fair.
Actually, some influencers are so infamous for using fake designer merch to seem more successful than they actually are, that they are now being paid by companies to promote illegal knockoffs to their viewers. But you know what?
It's so stupid. Like, how does this happen? Like, this is
really grinds my
embarrassing.
gears. Those massive overconsumption product haul
The overconsumption influencers on TikTok.
Influencers will unpack like a month's salary worth of clothes in one 20-second TikTok.
Okay, to be fair, when I had my girlfriend and my mom both living at my house, they could have stacked up this much shit in a week. Like, I don't know. Like, yeah, no, I don't even know how that would happen. No, they would. Every day, I would wake up, I'd open the fucking door, and there'd be like 4 packages. And I'd be like, what are these? Oh, these are new shoes. Oh, my mom wanted new plates. Why do you want new plates? We don't have room for the old plates. Well, these ones are nice. There's a bird on it. How much was this? 130. Oh, right. Well, they're limited edition. Oh, how could I forget? How could I fucking forget? Yeah, so much makeup. Yes, exactly. And the thing is, like, for my mom, right? If it made her happy to buy these stupid fucking plates with a bird on it, it's got a nice hummingbird on it, it was worth it. All right? It was worth it. I told her, you buy whatever you want if it makes you happy. And it did make her happy. But man, we got so many plates. There's so many plates, man. Oh God, I don't know what to do with them all. Yeah, it's nuts. Don't even use them. No, I mean, she bought some of them. And then, oh, by the way, then after she ran out of room to buy them for herself, then she started buying them for my friends. And she would buy other stuff for my friends too. So there would always be something that she was spending my fucking money on. And so she's like, there's a bunch of plates down there for like Cody. There's stuff she got for Zach. And it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to buy this. Oh, this is something nice for Jeff. We're going to buy this. Okay, great. Great. Yeah, sure. Auction of plates off? I don't know. Overconsumption court? Yeah. Are playing away? Yeah, that's it.
Then did the exact same thing 2 weeks later, acting as if their TikToks aren't the content creation pollution equivalent to Taylor Swift's private jet usage. If only Taylor was also using a private jet photo studio. Don't get me wrong, I think sharing your thoughts on products you're excited about or sponsored by with your viewers is great. But when you get enough products to
$4,000 Sephora haul, I think that like, this is my opinion. And I think I speak for a lot of guys. Maybe I don't. But no guy can tell the difference between spending $4,000 on makeup and spending $4 on makeup. It doesn't really matter. Like, it's much better to be in shape and eat right and exercise. Like, I don't think, like, what are you doing this for? It's the same as I said with guys. Like, if it, like, guys focusing on, like, how to dress, I think is the dumbest shit ever. You see a bunch of, like, fucking soy boys sitting around trying to dress like alpha males. No, stop it. Like, Jack Reacher wearing a plain white t-shirt is going to look better than you wearing a Hugo Boss suit because you look like a fucking zombie. You look like a little bitch. That's the facts. But it's a lot easier to spend money and do that rather than work out. It's not for men. I'm telling you, that's you. I know it's me. Do you see me wearing fucking nice fashion? No, because it's putting lipstick on a fucking pig. I wish people would realize that. And with makeup, sometimes that's literally true.
Bury yourself alive in on a daily basis?
Jesus.
Don't you think that's a bit excessive? You're basically undoing 5 years of global recycling efforts with a single TikTok.
I don't care. They can set tires on fire for all I give a shit about. I just hate this, like, bro, the euphemisms, overconsumption core. You mean spending a bunch of money like a fucking idiot? Oh, yeah, I know what that is.
You're romanticizing shopaholism and overconsumption, normalizing mass pollution.
Her face probably is Botox. That's actually a good point. Because you don't see those eyebrows move at all. You see, like, Botox, like, this is what Botox does. Is it makes any woman look 38 years old. So if you're 23 and you get Botox and, like, this plastic surgery, you'll look 38 years old. But if you're 50 and you get Botox and plastic surgery, a lot of times you'll look also like you're 38 years old.
For your millions of viewers who will spend their hard-earned money on your shitty trends.
They're viral lip balms.
And since those overconsumption influencers know they'll get backlash from producing more garbage in a single day than most people do in a year, they say they'll give away all the
people that can't afford that stuff, but influencers get way more than they'll ever use. That's why we donate and give lots of it away. Wow, and here are people like why are people so stupid? Like, I don't understand this. Like, who cares what they do with it? Number one. Number two, why are you talking about giving it away? Number three, why are you buying it in the first place? It's like a Russian nesting doll of stupidity. Like, doing it is stupid. Getting mad about it is stupid. Making excuses for it is stupid. And it's like, oh my God. How far does this go?
Unwanted products instead of letting them go to waste. But one of the largest product haul influencers has just been crowned as the most dishonest influencer of all time with no integrity whatsoever.
I, by the way, fucking love these videos because this is something you guys probably don't know about unless you had a girlfriend. So, like, nobody knows about this here. There is a whole alternate reality where there are these beauty channels and there is more drama. Like, look at the likes on this. 80,000 likes. It's like a whole separate fucking reality.
She's
Because yeah, I feel like if you looked at, probably most of my viewers are either single or married. Probably the least popular one would probably be having a girlfriend. Because I either have like fucking, you know, the incel viewers that don't want to have girlfriends because all girls are whores and they only want your money. And then I have other viewers that are like 30 and so they're already married, they have a kid, right? And so like there's not a lot of like, you know, young 20s viewers that like have girlfriends that are watching. Yeah, no, it's probably actually true. Right, with 2 children? Yeah, you guys are right.
Telling the truth, right?
You know people are spending their hard-earned money on these products, and you're misleading them. And that is disgusting. That is, by definition, you are a fraudulent scam artist, liar,
Wait,
gross.
what is this?
These products, and you're misleading them. And that is disgusting. That is, by definition, you are a fraudulent scam artist, liar, gross.
I guess at
Also,
least...
by the way, like if I look at this right here, just a minute. I think that she face-apped herself on her profile picture to make her face thinner. Look at that. It could be before and after surgery, maybe? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know, guys.
Gross.
I guess at least she's not like those assholes who return their clothes after filming their clothing haul TikTok.
But by contouring, she's talking about the app. It's called contouring. It changes the way your face looks. That's smart. Yeah, you should make an app like that. That way they wouldn't be lying.
Is that like those assholes who return their clothes after filming their clothing haul TikTok? Tricking their audience into buying all of
that to me is fucking shameless. I hate that because, like, the one thing I don't like about this shit is, like, if you want to waste your own money and be a fucking idiot, I don't really care. But, like, buying shit and then returning it, and this is like fucking over the store. Now, like these like minimum wage or like, you know, paycheck to paycheck employees have to reprocess all of the clothes that you took out for a TikTok video. It's so obnoxious.
Pieces of clothing via their affiliate links, while they themselves just returned their units.
There are a lot of fashion and lifestyle influencers who buy products and return them. And over the years, there's been a lot more reporting of fashion influencers who do these like clothing hauls, but they actually can't afford most of the clothes they're buying, so they return it. But they create this illusion of the lifestyle they can afford and the clothes that they wear, but it's largely fabricated. So when you're seeing influencers flaunting my outfit of the day and you feel a little bit of envy, just know that there's a good chance they don't own all those clothes.
Which is actually even more harmful for the environment because those units have to go...
It's just obnoxious. Like, that's what it is. You're buying stuff and returning it just for clout. Like, it's so obnoxious. Who does this?
Through yet another transport, cleaning and repackaging process, or still end up in a landfill since most of the time that's cheaper for the company. And because retail companies are losing billions of dollars on people just returning their clothing after using it only once for a social media video, most of them
I don't know if that's the only reason they're losing the money, but yeah.
Completely dropped their free return policy.
Well, yeah, because people buy clothes to wear it one day and take it back. Yeah, of course.
And started charging for it. $6 returning fee. And now I have to keep these pants, which are way too tight. Jesus. Maybe I should stop comparing myself with toxic online pixels that can easily be faked, photoshopped, or
ruining it for the rest of us. Exactly.
To make me feel like shit.
Yeah, it makes it worse for everybody.
Influence me for money. So now I've got to deal with my pants being too tight for my balls and getting in between my ass. Ooh, you know what? Screw this guy. Instead, I'm gonna start flaunting my wealth, but to my real life friends and family, so I can start real toxicity. First, I gotta check my bank accounts. Oh man.
This was me IRL for like 3 years. Yeah.
And maybe I should brag with my subscriber
Probably for like 5 years.
I gotta reach 1 million subscribers before I can become a pretentious, braggy douche-tuber. So if you enjoyed this video, please watch some of my other videos, subscribe to my channel, and follow me on my socials in the description to become part of my cereal bowl, so we can become the largest cereal bowl on YouTube, and I can absorb all of your fibers and nutrients.
This is my...
What's up, everybody? Okay. Got it.
This is my morning
good
routine.
one.
I'm currently waking up.
I find this to be very, like, to me, it's so shocking for me to see how much fakery there is with this kind of stuff. Because I think that, like, what's behind all of it is, like, a tremendous amount of insecurity. Like, these people are massively insecure. They're trying to put on a false image of themselves and make people like them. I find it to just be so weird, man. And, like, how can you do that? Like, why do you do it? Like, I mean, don't you hate yourself for doing this? Yeah, I'll link the video. This is a good video. I love watching these, by the way. I think that they're fucking hilarious.
If one trend of 2023 shows how far we've fallen, it was the Barbie Botox. Named after the toy's signature long neck, the procedure spread like wildfire on Instagram after the release of the film. A series of injections to the trapezius muscles in the neck renders them unable to contract, which lowers your shoulders and makes your neck look slightly longer. Despite the risk of muscle paralysis and severe pain, thousands of people rushed out to get this hot new treatment. But this is a very recent phenomenon. No one did this in the past. No movie made people do this kind of thing. And that's when you realize that the Barbie Botox is just the tip of a massive
Bro, what are you doing, man? Why are you doing this?
Massive iceberg, a trend that's hiding behind the surface. You see, the plastic surgery industry has been booming for years off the back of Instagram and TikTok. Invasive procedures go in and out of fashion every month, as a young impressionable audience goes from one insecurity to another, fed to them by Instagram's algorithm. Meanwhile, celebrities and influencers work hand in hand with the industry, making promotional posts and boasting about...
Yeah, a lot of content creators, like, this is kind of like a thing that a lot of people might not know about, but a lot of content creators actually get basically sponsorships with, like, plastic surgery places. And, like, this even happens in Korea and stuff, too. Obviously happens in Korea because they're, like, really big into plastic surgery, or South Korea is. And so, like, they'll go over there and have some shit done on them, and then they'll promote the place that they have it done, and so it's like kind of it's a win-win for them.
Their procedures and the results. As new procedures dip in and out of fashion, influencers target people's mental weaknesses and make a fortune drumming up clients for the industry. And now that plastic surgery is growing fastest among young adults looking to replicate the inhuman perfection they see on the app, it's time we really expose how Instagram is quite literally changing the face of the world. At the time,
well, it is, and also another thing is that one thing that people might not understand is that, like, what the difference between camera lenses are. For example, like, how many of you guys have taken a picture, you've, like, looked in the mirror, and you've like, oh, I look good, and then you take a picture with your phone, and you say, wow, actually, you know what? Never mind, I look like a fucking ogre. Like, it happens a lot, right? Why does that happen? It happens because of the camera lens. But people just don't know about that. Wide angle isn't flattering. Yeah, no, it's not generally, right? And so that's the thing, but people don't know about that because it's like a camera tech thing. So a lot of this, a lot of the fucked up things that people get into, they get into those things because they're just simply naive. Or they just don't know what they're talking about.
It's impossible to predict the rise of Instagram.
It's like especially bad for like girls with big noses, right? Because like a camera lens, like a phone camera lens will like emphasize that a lot. That's why girls hate, you know, like there's a lot of girls now that like get nose surgery.
Biggest social media apps in the world. But looking back, it's easy to see that all the right ingredients were there for massive success. It all goes down to the founders Kevin Systrom and Mike Krieger. The pair originally met while studying at Stanford, and even before they had started their careers, they were being headhunted by the big names in tech. Kevin Systrom even turned down an internship at Facebook to spend time studying photography in Italy. Kevin would go on to intern at Odeo, a small app which would later become Twitter, and afterwards he would then get headhunted by Google and worked there for 2 years.
Good for him.
Even after a short short time in the industry, Kevin was frustrated. He had just been passed up for a promotion and was sick of the culture of the company, and went against all the original ideas of Silicon Valley. Kevin wanted to fully throw himself into a creative idea and exploit an opening in the market by building something of his own. Kevin knew his old college friend Mike was just as ambitious as he was, and so he thought he would explain his vision for a new app, something he would tell Forbes in an interview a few years later. Mike Krieger and I created Instagram because we wanted a way to communicate visually. We realized that we'd be taking all these photos with our iPhones that would sit on our camera roll, and it felt like they should be seen, not necessarily because they were good photos, but because a photo that no one sees isn't really that interesting.
Well, that's another big reason, is that like before we had Instagram, you really had like, I mean, you had like Photo Bucket, like, and a few other like random websites. But the problem is that there wasn't really a following feature. So the big reason why, at least like, how many of you guys have an Instagram, but you've never posted a picture on Instagram? Yeah, Flickr. Yeah, a lot of people, right? And so what do you use Instagram for? You use Instagram as like, it's like a Pokedex for girls. And so that's the way I use Instagram. I have a few posts on there I make since I make content. You know, it's like every once in a while I'll do that. But when was the last time I made a post on Instagram? Let me go and look and see for myself. Let's see. How do I even open up my account? I made a post in March 8th of 2023, and it says, I took this before I went to Dairy Queen. So that was over a year ago. But I go on Instagram every single day. It's crazy.
The photo you take communicates something about a moment in time, a brief slice of time of where you were, who you were with, and what you were doing. And funnily enough, their idea would prove to be one of the most lucrative ideas of the 21st century. Kevin and Mike immediately got to work on Instagram, pouring everything they had into this new app. And in just...
Yeah, like back then, like you didn't have like, because Facebook was the only other platform you had. And like with a lot of these like people that you want to follow, like you want to follow some hot girl, like you don't want to see like her talking about like what she thinks about Obama. Like shut the fuck up. Like I just want to look at the pictures. And so like Instagram like filled a need that people didn't have then.
2 weeks, they had already secured $500,000 of funding from investors, and were starting to get it ready to launch to the public. But it still wasn't easy. It took the pair a year of work to get everything ready, but they still weren't prepared for what would happen next. Now, there was plenty of interest in the app, and they could tell this from the demos. And so as soon as they launched the app, within just the first week, Instagram had gained over 100,000 users.
Oh yeah, people love this.
This was
and also another reason why is because Instagram didn't require you to put in all of your personal information. And by 2010, this is almost 2011, people had begun to distrust Facebook and were becoming worried about giving their personal information. Whereas like Instagram was just like, you make an account, you post photos, and that's it. So like at the time, Instagram was like uniquely poised to be an incredible value for like a user.
Highest amount of users gained for any single social media app in history. The service for the app and the infrastructure wasn't enough to keep up with the massive influx of users. The new company that barely had anyone working for it had already far exceeded expectations. And so they would have to invest tons back in just to keep the app functional, with back-end tweets and more processing power. And so the first year was just a mad rush to keep up with the user base, with Kevin and Mike sacrificing everything in their lives to keep it afloat. But just when they thought they had gotten on top of the growth, there would be more crashes and more problems to deal with. But as time went on and they streamlined the process, their hard work was richly rewarded. You see, investors saw this and knew they had to get a piece of the pie. In less than 2 months after its launch, the app already hit 1 million
Probably
users,
a chart for like
and
homelessness.
Instagram was injected with $7 million of investor funding, particularly through System Silicon Valley connections. And users just loved how you could make your photos look so much better than other apps like Facebook. And the key here,
they had like the built-in filters. I forgot all about that. Yeah, the filters in Instagram, and this was like something that happened in like 2011. I feel like by 2014 or 15, people kind of moved away from putting like the heavy filters on. But in like 2012 and 2013, it was very common that people would like super filter their content and have like 2 or 3 filters on it or shit like that. Yeah.
Was filters,
like different color grading,
relatively
etc.
early on to make up for the poor quality of smartphone cameras at the time. The introduction of various photo filters would prove revolutionary. With the touch of a button, users could iron out their wrinkles, cover up any blemishes, and transform their mundane experiences into picturesque moments. What was meant as a simple fix for the lacking technology of the time took on a life of its own. Filters gave Instagram an air of perfection and artistic expression that transcended the dull, boring...
Let me see if I have a single filter photo. I do. But this is one that somebody sent to me, so it's like, I'm not really sure if that really counts. Oh no, I think I have another. Yeah, I've done it twice. Other than that, no.
Photos your relatives
the J Schlatt filter? No.
Time. Although Kevin and Mike could never have foresaw what they had really created and how this would be used in the future. But at the same time that Kevin and Mike were building the photo app of the future, something else was going on. Other people were laying the groundwork for an entirely different way to push past the limits of natural beauty. Now, if you're going to blame anyone for the massive rise in plastic surgery, then you'd have to talk about people like the Kardashians. They were unique among celebrities at the time because they truly offered nothing except for their image and their lifestyle. Coming to fame in 2007 after...
That wasn't new. Like, Paris Hilton did that before. Like, Paris Hilton walked so Kim Kardashian could run. Like, am I the only person that remembers all of the Paris Hilton shows in, like, the 2000s? What are we talking about? This is nothing special with Kim Kardashian. Yeah, they were friends? Yeah, I know.
Viral sex tape, Kim and the gang went on to hold their 15 minutes of fame and stretched it out over multiple decades. Kim and her family's signature look exploded onto modern culture and still has an effect on beauty standards today. The modern world's obsession with full lips, big butts, and stenciled eyebrows is in large part thanks to them. Of course, the image they sold to the world so easily didn't really bear any relation to reality. First, as you can probably guess, there's all the cosmetic surgeries and procedures they've gone through to get there, then countless layers of makeup, professional photography, and Photoshop are added on. And out of thousands of those photos, only a select few are chosen to be shown to the public.
But if you're like a 12-year-old girl and you don't understand any of that because you're stupid because you're a 12-year-old girl, you're gonna see a picture of Kim Kardashian or like I don't know any of the other ones really, but like you're gonna see a picture of one of them and you're gonna be like, well, I don't look like that, I guess I should kill myself. That's what happens. It is, because they're stupid. They don't know the difference. And also this happens with guys too, right? It like, I mean, girls, I think it's worse with girls. It is. But like for guys, it's still a problem.
Rise of social media, this kind of deception was only available to the rich and famous. Even their own influence alone has a huge effect on the cosmetic surgery industry. When a 17-year-old Kylie Jenner boasted of getting lip fillers to achieve her signature look, online searches for the procedure went up by over 3,000%. The so-called Brazilian butt lift...
That is nuts. Getting that shit at 17 years old? Oh my god. For guys, it's a bit different. Yeah, I mean, obviously for girls and guys, it's different, but this is nuts. Like, I would even say that for guys. Like, the problem is that, like, if you're a girl, like, yeah, you can get fit, but, like, a lot of the different things that, like, girls don't like about the way they look are, like, intrinsic things, like how big their boobs are. Or like, you know, like the way their face looks or like their chin or their nose, where it's like guys, I would say like 90% of guys, if you work out and you're in good shape, that's pretty much all you really need to do. Just do that. And you know, like take care of yourself a little bit. Just do that.
Procedures.
I feel like guys have like a, you know, it's like it's easier and harder, right? Because, like, working out is a lot harder than just going to, like, a place and then having them, you know, cut part of your nose off, for example. But at the same time, you don't have to do that. I'd rather not have somebody do that to me.
Kim and her family. The procedure involves a surgeon taking fat deposits from elsewhere on the body and then transferring them to the buttocks.
By the way, this is actually one of the most dangerous surgeries. Brazilian butt lifts are actually... I think it's like, I don't know like what the percentage, I heard it was like 2.5% or something like that, of them could be fatal, but I think that could also be wrong, but it's a very, very high percentage.
In 2018, the amount of butt lift...
What's this BBL Drizzy? What is, I keep seeing this, I don't know what it is. What is that? It's a Drake versus Kendrick thing? Yeah, no, I know that, but like, it's a long story? Okay, got it.
Has risen by over 250%. Over time, though, the procedures fades away and the results disappear, so regular procedures...
In a lot of cases, yeah, that's true. Like, I know a number of girls that have had some of this stuff done, and honestly, I would never do this shit. Like, I'm gonna be real. Like, I even, like, that's the reason why I didn't even want to get a hair transplant. Like, even that was a bit too much for me. Like, that's scary. But yeah, this shit is extremely common. Like, there's a ton of girls that do OnlyFans that get this all the time. It is nuts whenever I see how much this is. It's a nickname Drizzy has for Drake. Oh, I see. Kendrick says he has Brazilian butt lift at his latest diss on. That's funny.
Procedures are required to keep it up. Even the Kardashians themselves regretted the procedure in the end, with Kim recently admitting that she'd stopped having her top-ups. The procedure is massively popular, but also incredibly risky compared to other cosmetic surgery. When it goes wrong, people can get nasty infections and sometimes require surgery to remove the implants. Or if
the reason why also is because like the recovery process for this, I know a lot about this. The recovery process for this is like a matter of like a good number of months where you literally cannot sit down and you have to like sleep on your stomach and shit like that. It is crazy the amount of things that you need to do in order for this to actually work. It's fucked up. Yeah, it is.
That gets into the bloodstream, it can actually cause embolisms and blockages to vital organs.
To the butts, yeah, exactly.
1 in every
Weeks,
4,000 people die as a result of the complications, which is what led to the UK banning it in 2018. Eventually, they reversed the decision in 2022 after bringing in new safety regulations, but there's still a whole world of unlicensed practitioners performing a different version of the procedure. While they're not allowed to perform the surgical version with the potentially fatal side effects, they're still allowed to blindly inject people with artificial substances. It's not like the UK's ban really did anything anyway. The people who were determined enough to get it done were freely able
they just go somewhere else
to places like Turkey or Mexico where the procedure is completely legal
and it's also a lot cheaper,
unregulated and far cheaper. Even today there's countless adverts for this.
There's a lot of girls that go to South Korea for it too, for obvious reasons.
All over Facebook and Instagram, but nothing has promoted plastic surgery and made the world more plastic and fake than it's ever been like Instagram. The Kardashians might have remained in the background for most people, ending up as has-been stars like so many before them. But instead, their recipe for success based on their looks and their status alone was about to go global.
Well, it's because they're hot. Like, that's the reason why. I mean, like, what are we talking about? That's obviously the reason why. Like, duh, like...
That was all thanks to Instagram. But how did an innocent photo sharing website become
a lot of people think so.
Today?
Yeah, maybe you might not, but a lot of people do.
Zuckerberg. You see, Zuck's vision for a social media business was a lot different compared to Kevin Systrom or Mike Krieger. While they were thinking about how to make money from people's photos, Mark was interested in commodifying the people instead. Even before Mark started Facebook, he had already demonstrated his true feelings towards his users.
By the way, Mark Zuckerberg called people who handed over their data dumb fucks. Okay, based. True and based and real. He was right. He was fucking right.
Rejected that the film The Social Network was true in his account of his website FaceMash.
Right, like they just can't wrap their head around the idea that someone might build something because they like building things.
The evidence shows that it wasn't that far off. Articles from Harvard newspapers show how he plundered Harvard's registers for pictures of people's faces. He then used these to create a website where people could rank each other on attractiveness, while the backend...
I mean, like... Is this really supposed to be like some kind of fucking expose? A college guy made a website to rate girls? It's the right one, by the way. This one's way hotter. It's obvious. Is this really? Yeah, it's 2, right? Yeah, 100%. Like, what do you mean?
And secretly assigned them their own rating out of 10.
Yeah,
While it was quickly shut down, the stunt informed the future development of Facebook to a massive degree. Facebook did the same thing in turning its users into the product, just in a more sinister way. It was all about maximizing engagement for users, whilst plundering all the possible data they could find. And then selling this to advertisers and giving them easy targets for their campaigns was the final step in the profit machine. Whilst these weren't new ideas, Zuckerberg perfected them at Facebook. A combination of aggressive data hoarding and addictive design practices turned Facebook into one of the biggest companies in the planet, almost overnight. But already by the early 2010s, and Zuckerberg...
Well, people really liked Facebook. Facebook was a huge improvement over MySpace. MySpace was such trash. Like, the website, like, you would go onto people's profiles and you wouldn't know where anything was because of the, like, all the different, like, applications and things on there, like the HTML customized stuff. It was bad.
knew deep down that Facebook would be on the way out at the end of the decade, as he was failing to capture the next generation and was losing out to younger, more organic apps like Instagram. Meanwhile, things weren't amazing at Instagram either. Sure, growth was solid and the business was doing well, but after 2 years of grinding away, Kevin and Mike were sick of doing it alone. Now, they had built up a team by this point, but it was always an uphill struggle to keep up with the growth of the app. Some sort of merger or acquisition would put an end to these troubles. It would give them all the investments they needed, with the added bonus of the infrastructure to push Instagram to the next level. So after turning down a few other suitors, Kevin and Mike sold the company almost entirely to Mark Zuckerberg.
This reminds me of, like, remember what idiot bought Tumblr for $1 billion? Man, like, I mean, because Facebook really made a good call with this, right? This is a very good decision. Bro, yeah, they bought it for $1 billion. Then they banned porn. It's like, wait a minute. That's like buying McDonald's and saying it's going to be vegan only. What the hell is the point?
In 2012.
Americans share photos on Instagram. A company with only 13 employees bought today by Facebook for $1 billion.
Damn.
At first, it seemed like they made the right choice. Kevin and Mike were still
I bet they're pretty happy.
And they were free to grow the app however they wanted. And through the intelligent use of their new resources, Instagram had exploded in popularity. Within a year, they hit 50 million users, then 100 million a few months afterwards. But this all came at a cost, because it wasn't long before Mark came in to slowly force the founders out along with their original principles, allowing Facebook to make changes to the app and its business model forever. In 2014, Facebook pushed for changes to the data hoarding practices, making the app use Facebook's invasive tactics. A year later, they gave advertisers far more power.
I never connected my Instagram with Facebook, as far as I know. I never did it. Because I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want people to see what I'm doing on Instagram or see what I'm doing on Facebook. Like, yeah, I never did that. Like, the only reason, like, I used to go on Instagram without an account. And then, like, they made it to where you had to have an account to look at people's pictures. And so then I made an account after that. Accidentally share something on Facebook. I never had that happen, but yeah.
The app, letting them run 30-second adverts and buying products directly through the app. Compromising your personal information and data security with the new hands.
I think advertisements were fine.
Notorious for exploiting all of your information and using it against you. That's why while you're exploring services like Instagram, every sign-up or interaction might expose you to potential spam, scams, or identity theft. But imagine navigating these apps like Instagram with complete control of your personal information, never having to compromise your privacy for the sake of convenience. Well, this is where our video sponsor Cloak steps in. You see, Cloak uses advanced technologies like client-side encryption and zero-knowledge access, ensuring that all of your communications are securely encrypted and completely private. This means you can use apps like Instagram without ever having to worry about your personal details being compromised.
It just makes info? I'm going to be honest, that's actually pretty cool. Yeah, it just makes fake it. That's great.
Think about it. While you're using apps like Instagram, every sign-up or interaction you have on the app might expose you to potential scams or even identity theft. But what if you could go online, where you could use social media apps like Instagram and sign up for rewards, make purchases, or even test out new apps without ever having to give away your actual phone number or email?
This is the first good I've seen years.
Yeah, great solution to this, because with Cloaked, you can instantly create phone numbers, email addresses, and more to create a fully functional identity that protects your personal details from being abused, allowing you to sign up for rewards and discounts, all whilst avoiding all the spam that usually comes with it. You don't need to use your real phone number.
This is actually kind of a W ad. I'm going to be honest.
You don't have to use your actual email address on things like Instagram, or even have to use the internet without having to disclose your personal contact information. At the same time,
because I never, like, if I have to put in my account, like, I'm willing to give people an email sometimes, but like, if I have to give them a phone number, jeez, dude, man, look at the time. I gotta go. Oh, yeah.
Allows you to manage your passwords, texts, and emails via specialized inboxes.
Not going to happen.
It's accessible on desktops, extensions, and mobile devices. And if you ever decide you no longer wish to communicate with contacts holding your cloaked email or phone number, you can simply mute them directly from the app. And with the app, you'll have a unique database that spreads out data, that forges an encrypted barrier between your information and Cloaked. I'm routing your regular phone number for text and phone calls through Cloaked for extra security. So if you want to secure your personal information and not have to deal with all the garbage in your inboxes and messages, be sure to sign up to Cloaked today and make sure to use my link in the description so that you can get a discount too.
That's probably the best advertiser I've ever seen. I'm gonna be honest. Like that was actually a W ad.
Most insidious changes that happened when Zuckerberg took over Instagram were far more subtle. In 2014, Instagram added a whole suite of different editing tools. The app went from a place to post filtered pictures of your real life into a showroom for the best looking photos of yourself that you could possibly create. By 2016, they made it so algorithms would decide what photos the app would show you. Instead of giving you a timeline of the photos that your friends had posted, Instagram would only show what it thought you would engage with the most, laying the groundwork for the addictive design that Facebook had already mastered. When Facebook began pushing for location tracking, it was the final straw for Kevin and Mike. They hated the direction the app was taking. They saw that Zuckerberg was using their app as a machine that turned people's addictions into a weapon against humanity. They thought
I think that, like, I mean, the location tracking, it's like not necessarily a bad thing, but like it shouldn't be on by default. That's what a lot of the problems are, is that whenever these things have these like massive like privacy invasion things that are like, hey, by the way, this is on by default, but you can turn it off. But if you want to do that, you have to go through 8 different menus and then call customer support. That's the problem. Like, I think it's fine. Like, for example, like, because if you're visiting a new city or something like that, and it's like, hey, you know, like there's an ad for like this place that's nearby, I don't think it's that big of a deal, right? It's really not, and it can be okay, but it should not be on by a default.
Like Zuck's push for maximum engagement would lead to some of the worst problems that we see today in society. The environment on Instagram was now a constant competition to get the most followers and the most likes on your photos, always having to look the best you possibly could for the algorithm, with the aid of Instagram's inbuilt Photoshop. Unlike the founders, Zuckerberg didn't care at all that the problems on the app would soon spill over into society. As long as it kept making him billions, it didn't matter. Eventually in late 2018, Kevin and Mike gave up fighting against the tide and just decided to leave the company entirely, leaving Mark Zuckerberg free to fully realize his plans for Instagram.
I don't really feel that bad about that for those guys. Like, I really don't. The reason why is that, like, whenever you sold it to the Facebook guy, you knew what Facebook was. I bet both of those guys had Facebook, and like they had all of this intrusive data collection on Facebook, and now it's like, oh wow, I can't believe this is happening to us. What a surprise. Of course it was going to happen. Why do you think he gave you $1 billion?
And this has had an awful effect on society ever since. You see, plastic surgery was still a niche industry up until this point. It was only reserved for medical purposes, Hollywood actors and trophy wives. It wasn't nearly as common as it was today, but all of this changed with the arrival of Instagram in the early 2010s. Almost overnight, we saw a rapid transformation in how people presented themselves online, and the images of people we see. Now, we've already discussed what the Kardashians and other celebrities would do to get the perfect picture. After the surgeries, camera angles, and airbrushing, the final image is barely recognizable as the person it depicts. Instagram puts this power into the
I've seen plenty of people that look real good in Instagram. In real life, they don't look like that. I've seen a lot of them. Like, I've seen, no, they don't look like that.
Of the people. With the high-powered camera in people's pockets, they could take what would have been a normal photo, add a filter and some Photoshop to it, and create a vision of perfection. All the little flaws and blemishes that make people human were ironed out. Now nearly anyone could achieve the level of unrealistic perfection that graced magazine covers for years. On its own, this
well, also, like, you got to keep in mind that, like, they airbrushed the shit out of this. Like, they're going to be photoshopping all this out. They're probably like, they probably color corrected her eyes, maybe even the lipstick as well. Like, this whole thing has been edited like crazy. It's not like they just went, oops, click, and that's it. Every aspect of it, yeah, of course.
On its own, this would have been troubling. For decades, people worried about the negative effect on people's self-esteem and self-image that beauty magazines and Hollywood had. But Instagram took this to the next level. 100 times
you can do this
by turning it into a global
That's crazy
with millions of fans and billions of dollars on the line for the winners. So of course it wasn't long before people realized.
I remember I've seen people, like, I don't want to say names, right? But I've seen people that I knew on Instagram and I didn't even recognize them in real life. Like, there's some of them that are hot in real life too, but there's also some of them that aren't. It's a bit of both.
win this game, you had to go as far as possible. For the Instagram algorithm to bless you, you had to do whatever it took. The more focused on your image you were, the more money and popularity you could get as an influencer. Constantly being dangled over you, your feed showing you all these people sucked into the same Instagram algorithm, tapping into all your primal needs, playing into men's sexual urges, and for everybody's desire for fame and attention. It became about selling the illusion of perfection. For a successful influencer, every photo pushed this narrative a bit further forward. They showcased their perfect bodies, their perfect lives, relaxing by pools, in million-dollar yachts, penthouses across the world, smiling.
By the way, I don't really think that this is a problem with Instagram at all. Like, this is like, I know this might be a crazy take, but like, I actually don't think this is a problem with Instagram at all. It's a problem with people's the culture. Like, if we didn't have Instagram, people still be doing stupid shit like this. It's just it'd be harder for them to figure out how to do it. Like, the reality is that the culture, like, there are people that use Instagram in a healthy, normal way, and it doesn't erode and destroy their life. So it's like, why does it happen to some people and not other people? Well, obviously, you know, maybe some people are better at dealing with it. So maybe think about how to deal with it in a better way rather than try to take everything away from the world because you're not equipped to deal with it. Like, that's the problem that I think a lot of, you know, like, takes on social media have, is like the solution to it is not, it's not to, you know, take accountability for your own behavior and how you feel. It is, I want the entire world to structurally change in a way that's beneficial to how I believe it would be beneficial. I find this to be very problematic. I do. Social media demonize bald people as well. That's because people don't like being like, okay, so that's not really true though, right? I mean, it's really not. Like, look at the guy, look at Austin Powers, Dr. Evil. I mean, come on. It's not social media,
friends.
The Rock.
It didn't matter that none of this was actually real and that it was all a fantasy. I mean, strip away the filters and the staged moments, and you'd just be left with a sad picture of self-obsession and insecurity. Living this way and focusing your whole life on your image is a terrible recipe for disaster. You would expect models, the people who are selected by society as the best looking people in the world, to have the least problems with.
By the way, like, a lot of models, in my opinion, are not particularly attractive. They just have certain body frames that show off clothes well. Like, I don't think this girl is super hot. I don't think so at all. But, like, there's a reason why, like, male models are, like, 6'2" or taller, and female models are, like, 5'10". It's not a, like, that's not...
critiquing their own appearance, but in fact it's the opposite. Over 40% struggle with body dysmorphia and disordered eating. But this was just for models. This used to just be for these kinds of people whose entire livelihoods depended on their image. But in the last few years, Instagram has globalized this toxic mindset because of the results of its grand competition for visual perfection. All of the perfect illusions posted by influencers online were eaten up by the hundreds of millions of users.
Oh, people love it. People love eating shit.
Some parts of Instagram culture, like using filters and photoshopping your selfies, entered the mainstream and affected the rest of the internet. It all had the effect of making everyone subconsciously disappointed with their own comparatively boring lives. If you weren't part of the
See, I never felt this way. Like, whenever I said, I would always see people going out and doing stuff, I'd be like, oh my god, bro, that must be so... You gotta deal with that shit? God damn, like, are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? I gotta deal with this shit? It was nuts. Like, yeah, for me, I never cared about any of that shit.
Relate, then your life
would you get plastic surgery if you were a female?
Every single day. And if you didn't have the flawless figure and perfect face like the influencers, then you just weren't good enough to join the club. The algorithm wouldn't bless you. You'd just be left in the bottom of the barrel, constantly refreshing your likes to see if anyone would give you more attention. And over time, this has led to a huge rise in insecurity, mental illnesses, and body dysmorphia amongst young people in particular. All the perfection made people think that the natural imperfections that everyone else has was something to be ashamed of. Inevitably, influencers were ready to swoop in and
well, it is something to be ashamed of. That's why they put makeup over it. Like, what are we talking about here? It's obvious. And this is the problem, is like, everybody likes to talk about this from some kind of fucking idealized perspective. Yeah, why are girls getting BBLs? Because guys like fat asses. That's the reason why. Nobody likes to see wrinkles. It's fucking gross. So that's why people put makeup over their wrinkles and they get Botox to not see them. Like, that's just the way it is. So it's like everybody tries to fucking moralize and like high road this shit But the truth is that, like, why do people use this? Because it makes them look better. Like, fucking obviously. Obviously, that's what happens. I do, but not because I get, look, I get it. But, like, it's not like this is happening for no reason. Like, I've seen girls. I'm just going to, listen. I've seen plenty of girls that go and they're getting, let's say, 1,000 or 2,000 likes on their photos. They get surgery and they're getting 5,000 or 10,000 likes on their photos after that. Yep. That's ROI. Like, they do it because it works. Do likes pay the bills? No, but OnlyFans does. So think about that. So it wasn't a thing before cosmetic surgery. Can't tell me these fake over-the-top bottoms are attractive. So you might think that, but if you look at these girls' Instagrams that have this stuff, they have tons of followers, and they have tons of likes, and they have OnlyFans, and they're in like the 1 or 0.1%. Like, these girls are making 6 figures, 7 figures doing this. You might think that she looks like, I don't know, like a weird animal or something like that, but somebody wants to fuck that animal. And the truth is that a lot of people do. So that's the reality. Like, I know it's like nobody wants to talk about this, but it's true. There's clearly an audience for it, yeah.
Solution to the problem they had made worse, most of them promoting harmless temporary fixes like their own cosmetic brands and makeup. The Kardashians would gain hundreds of millions of followers on Instagram and then promote their makeup lines, making billions in the process. But for some of these Instagram-fueled insecurities, there was only one way to really change it. If you wanted a bigger butt like the models on Instagram, a slimmer waistline, bigger boobs, or for guys a better jawline, a better face, plastic surgery was the easiest and quickest option. It didn't matter that it was fake.
Well, that's very important to keep in mind. The easiest and quickest option. Because it, like, so this is the thing. If you work out and you're a guy, it will change the way that your face looks. And I think that in general, if you look at 100 guys that don't work out regularly and 100 guys that do work out regularly, I bet if you look at the side by side, the guys that are working out regularly and are in shape are going to have a better facial structure and like facial composition than the guys that don't. I think so, like 10 times out of 10. I think like 9 out of 10 times, right? That's just how it is. So yeah, less cheek. Yeah, there's a lot of different reasons. But here's the problem though, right? What's easier? Going to the doctor and having them just do a thing, or going to the gym 5 days a week, working out, managing your calories, making sure that you're watching what you're eating, exercising regularly, and, not doing drugs. Jesus Christ. Like, let's go over to South Korea. Like, I can't handle that. Nope. And that's why people do it.
If it worked for other people,
doing the mewing thing? Oh, yeah.
The whole insecurity was built on fake image to begin with. And so Instagram has duped tens of millions, even hundreds of millions.
Well, I feel like the mewing thing, like, I don't really understand it. It's like, that's whenever you put, like, the tongue at the top of your mouth, right? Is that it? I think that's it. It's fake. It's probably not fake. It's probably, it's probably like an in-between, where, like, it works for some people, it doesn't for others, based off of, just like muscle composition.
Into thinking they had a real problem, and that the only way to fix this problem would be through medical procedures. If you could just save up enough money, maybe you could look like your idol. Maybe then you could get enough likes.
Maybe then people will love you.
Finally feel worthy.
I'm
Little
sure.
do people realize it's an endless problem that you'll never be happy with. Of course, plastic surgery.
And it is important to keep in mind that there are some people that have something that they really don't like about how they look, and then they get plastic surgery and they fix it, and then their life is better because they're happy. So, like, I don't think that all plastic surgery is bad, but, like, pathological plastic surgery where it's like, I'm doing this, I'm changing this, and I have to do this, it's like, I feel like, and doctors even make sure that, like, my understanding is that doctors will try to, like, do a psychological, almost, evaluation on people before they do plastic surgery on them in some places, in order to make sure that they're not that kind of a person. Very slippery slope. Yeah, but I do think that there are some people that get plastic surgery for, like, something that's, like, clearly wrong with their face, and then they fix it and they feel better. That's it. Yeah, some small fixes can improve your life. Yeah, exactly.
Won't fix your insecurities. After one procedure is over, something else pops up that needs to be fixed. Realistically, even if you don't mind plastic
it's like
surgery,
a car. Y'all ever get a car and, like, you fix the car's, you get a new let's say the belt is fucked up, so you got to get a new belt, okay? All right, now the air filter's fucked up, okay? All right, we can fix that. That's easy. All right, now the fuel pump. Oh my God. All right, we fix the fuel pump. Month later, holy shit, the AC's not working. You have to take it back. Okay, that's fine. All right, well then now it's like, oh my God. There's it's so many imperfections. Yeah, it's like WoW gear, exactly. There's always more.
It's still better in moderation. A few touch-ups could be seen as a positive thing if it doesn't lead to more insecurity, but the beauty standards that Instagram was pushing didn't push people towards moderation. Instead, they made everyone else want to look the same. And the more of your friends that got plastic surgery, the more of your idols that got surgery, the bigger the desire you'd have yourself for getting surgery.
It's also like girls that have their friends do it, right? Because then like their friends are getting more attention from guys and they're being treated better, and then it's like a social pressure.
People call it the Instagram phase, characterized by perfect skin, luscious and full lips, sharp cheekbones, and long eyelashes. It's become what millions of young women around the world dream of having. Of course, it's only possible with surgery, Botox, and Photoshop, and the world will move on to a different beauty standard before long. But this hasn't stopped people from trying to achieve this illusion. It's especially noticeable in celebrities, and promoted everywhere on Instagram's algorithm. Whether or not plastic surgery is involved, tons of models, singers, and movie stars have slowly changed their image to match the Instagram templates. Ariana Grande is a good example. You can see the progression towards the Instagram singularity over time with this picture. Notice how
that's definitely true. Like I you know, now that I look at it, it definitely feels like there's kind of like a mode that like a lot of girls have that look exactly like that. Yeah. It's the same person. Yeah, the convergence. I never really thought of it that way, but I think that's actually a really good way to see it. Yeah.
her eyes have gone stretched out, her nose has changed, and her lips have gotten fuller. She's also lost an unhealthy amount of weight, which is a huge problem when it isn't healthy. Obviously, people can look whatever way they want to look, but there's something really sad about all of these young people getting duped into thinking their natural beauty isn't good enough. The modern standards that Instagram and its whole culture have imposed on people drives them to do this to themselves. Of course, that's not the only soul-destroying app that pushes people towards cosmetic surgery. Improving your performance on dating apps are also some of the top reasons
yeah. Tinder users more likely to consider plastic surgery? Wow. Fishermen more likely to consider bait. Somebody got paid to write this?
People go under the knife. The most popular dating apps focus the courtship process almost purely on what people look like. People look at your picture for a second or two, then make a split-second decision on whether you meet their standards.
Yeah.
You can easily see why
Obviously.
plastic surgery would give you an advantage for this. Filters and editing helps, but it's too obvious if it's done poorly. An artificial face underneath all of that makes the final picture much more effective. Lots of the procedures that give you an Instagram face also work especially well with filters and airbrushing. So much so that some people design their own faces to look especially good in their online photos.
That's crazy. That's some fucking, like, bro, that's some Black Mirror shit. Oh my god. Then your kids are born ugly as fuck? Yeah, I remember that one photo, and then, like, the girl in the photo, apparently it wasn't even true, and it ruined her life. Yeah, I remember that. Think about whenever AIs used to min-max to make you feel bad about yourself, so you buy the solution. Oh, you think, like, yeah, well, I mean, that's like the Schlatt filter. Remember whenever he would always do that? And he would filter himself, and, like, nobody, like, I feel like there are people that were fans of Schlatt that actually don't know what he looks like. Yeah, clearly Black Mirror was written by a time traveler. Yeah, I mean, it's not a surprise. I mean, this is just what's going to happen with anybody. And I think really the solution to this is, you know, like, give people, like, I think it's, like, internal. Like, people need to take some degree of accountability for how they feel about different things, because there's always going to be ways that people find to hate themselves. Like, if you have a problem, somebody will be able to figure that out inside of you. So you can't look at the world and, like, try to protect, like, you know, change the world to protect yourself.
Is something when you actually look at them. While you may think the Instagram face looks good on Instagram itself, next to a group of normal people in real life, it just looks kind of strange and alien. One thing about all the ways Instagram has led to the rise in plastic surgery is that it doesn't discriminate by age. In fact, young people and even teenagers are much more susceptible to the coordinated attack on your self-image that Instagram delivers. While the Instagram face doesn't really bear any relation to people's natural faces, it is similar to someone who's in the early to late 20s. All the teenagers browsing Instagram...
Well, it's also, I mean, there's some people that look that way. It's the same as anything. Like, there are some people that look that way, but there's just not a lot of them. Like, naturally.
and wishing they looked that good, attempted to get procedures that made them look older rather than younger. This is the reason why plastic surgery and cosmetic procedures are growing fastest amongst people under 30, and even
as of 2020, 18% of all cosmetic surgeries in the United States were performed on patients 13 to 19. Well, like, I mean, this has got to be like, what does this include? Does this include like taking out somebody's wisdom teeth? Like, there's no way it does, right? Like, but there's got to be some explanation of this that makes sense, right? Because like, I just cannot fucking believe this. There's got to be like a medical reason or braces or something like that dental thing. Yeah, this has got like, bro, this is nuts. There's no way I can believe this. Oh my God.
faster in teenagers. Some of these procedures are what's called preventative plastic surgery. People are getting Botox and other things done in order to prevent future wrinkles, not just fast.
Oh my God. Oh my God. It's not gonna matter. It's just not. I'm sorry. It's insane, and it's like, it's just not gonna work, man. Like, I knew there was one girl that, man, I remember whenever we would go out somewhere, she would want to use an umbrella, even whenever it wasn't raining, so the sun wouldn't get on her face. And I'm like, a parasol? What are you, fucking Mary Poppins? Put that shit away and act like a normal goddamn American. Get the fuck out of here. I don't want to hear that shit. This is ridiculous.
And the ones already there.
Shut up.
I mean, it's truly insane that people are trying to fix a false problem that hasn't even happened yet because of one app. Another far more disturbing procedure is buccal fat removal.
No,
it's been all the
like
rage on Instagram
cheeks,
for
right?
quite a while now because it matches the current beauty standards online. Even if you don't know what it really is, you'll recognize the effects. In the procedure, a surgeon makes cuts inside the mouth and removes what's called the buccal fat pad, which rests under the cheekbones. The result is far more prominent cheekbones and that sunken, hollow look that's all the
okay.
rage right now. It makes you look far older and your face look thinner, but it's not without giant risks. The procedure itself...
I feel like if they did that to me, I would just look like a corpse. Like, cause my face is already really thin. Like, I would actually look like a fucking corpse. I'd be a necromancer, yeah, exactly.
Can be painful and dangerous.
The Crypt
As people
Keeper?
get older, their faces naturally get thinner and the natural layer of fat on your face gets less prominent. It's an irreversible procedure. All of the people getting it might regret it in 10 years down the line, unless they were going for that skeletal look in the front.
Yeah, that's something... That's crazy because, like, if I go back and I look at myself... Let me see if I could show you guys. I mean, this is me back in, like... My face used to be like that a lot. Let's see if I can find a good one. Yeah, like, I used to be skinny as fuck. So anyway, my mother... No, it's not, it's... shit. I think you can kind of tell. But, like, my face was super fucking thin. Yeah. Skeletor? Exactly. Yeah. The arm? I was 108 pounds in this video. Yeah, no cheek muscles? Well, the reason why I didn't have... So, I'm going to say something that's, like, crazy fucked up. So, basically, one of the reasons why I have a beard is because my jaw literally rotted from not having enough teeth. Because my teeth rotted out. So that's why, because I used to have, if you go back and you look at old videos of me, I have a pretty normal jawline. But then all of the teeth rotted out. I couldn't eat like that anymore. So I have no muscles in my jaw. And so now I eat with the front of my mouth, which is why, like, my face is a little bit weird. Did you get surgery at 13? No. No, exactly. And so, yeah, the bone reabsorbs as well. Exactly. And so it's not weird. Yeah. And so anyway, that's what happened. Did you fix your teeth? Oh, a lot of them, but I never replaced the back ones. It doesn't really show. Yeah, not really. But, like, again, if you look at, like, before and after, it definitely shows. Your face is fine, but different. Well, I know, but it's changed because of that reason. So yeah, it's like, for me, this is actually like, it's weird because I used to look more like this, whereas like not before. Molars provide the most muscle for your jaw. I have 0. Yeah, I don't have any.
If we want to look at where we might be in the future with the rise of cosmetic surgery, we only need to turn to South Korea. The country is in the future of plastic surgery. A third of Korean women aged 19 to 29 have undergone the knife, and the numbers just keep on rising, especially amongst young people. 60% of South Korean high school students want to get surgery in the future. There's even stories.
That's South Korea though, right? I mean, like, that's what they do over there.
Of young people winning plastic surgery vouchers from their schools to help with their future careers.
Bro, the schools? It's a high school that's giving away prizes for plastic surgery? I love that. That's so sick.
What's going on here?
Oh my God.
For the future of the West? Well, one theory is that it's all part of a push towards stricter conformity and a move away from individualism. In a culture where your social standing and your reputation are highly valued, losing face can mean everything. Breaking cultural norms and deviating from what's expected of you can damage both you and your family's reputation. With so much value put on that by everyone else, people who break away get ostracized.
I see this all the time, and it's like these girls, it's especially Korean girls. And oh Jesus. So basically a lot of them will post photos of themselves, but they'll never show their face. But then every once in a while, they'll have like one photo of them with their face, and like you can see them and it's like, you're hot. What are you doing? Just post a photo with your fucking face. Well, like, because like you would expect it to be like you know, like awful. But no, it's like, yeah, dude, the body image shit over there is crazy. No, modesty is great. Well, I mean, bro, this isn't modesty. They're posting pictures of their boobs, but they don't want to show their face, okay? Like, I think you're misunderstanding what we're talking about here.
And excluded from society. One of the many problems that this can cause has come about with modern society's focus on looks and aesthetics, both in the West and in South Korea.
I really noticed that a lot. You know how I noticed this? It was actually whenever I was watching a video about high schools in like the 80s and the 90s, and nobody in there was trying to wear like any kind of crazy clothes or anything like that. They were just wearing normal clothes. Whereas like now, if you look at high schools, it's kids that are constantly trying to wear things that are like expensive shit. Yeah, Jinko's not normal. Well, that was like really, I mean, that was only like a small subset of people in high school, right? Nobody gave a fuck. Yeah. It's like the disparity was way bigger. Yeah, hype culture, I know.
We might have Instagram face. It's a relatively new development compared to South Korea's rigid beauty standards.
Because like whenever I went to high school, this is what I would wear to high school. I would wear cargo pants to high school and a white or a black t-shirt. Either a plain white t-shirt or I had another black t-shirt and it said, I do all my own stunts. And I had like 5 other ones that I would wear, and that would wear my World of Warcraft hoodie. And it's like, I never really thought about like what I was wearing or like whether it was problematic or not. Yeah, or the army shirt. Yeah, I wore the army shirt a lot too. It was a good rotation. I was an edgy dude. A little bit.
Same facial features are valued above all others and plastered on every billboard, commercial, TV show, and music video. Conforming to this standard has become the same as any other social rule or cultural pressure. It becomes almost rude to assault other people's eyes with your appearance if it doesn't match the cultural mold. Your face and how you look get wrapped up.
So it's rude to be ugly? I like that. That sounds good. Yeah, that's... Bro. That's real good. Female body inspector shirt. So my friend Eric had that shirt, and I remember they made him go home and change it. Because he wore it, and he's like, hey, he's cool. You see FBI, but it's like boobs. I'm like, oh, really? Yeah, and then they made him change it.
The idea of success
it's kind of awesome, yeah.
Pushed by the rest of the culture.
I remember I bought a shirt. It says, fuck y'all, I'm from Texas. And my mom said, you are never allowed to wear that shirt anywhere ever. And so I've only just put the shirt on my wall. I never wore it.
Plastic surgery is so popular. It's become the difference between getting that promotion you've been working towards and missing out.
Yeah,
the same thing that's happened in South Korea has also come to China as well. The industry is booming there now. The amount of people getting surgery increased by 600% between 2009 and 2018. This huge demand has led to a sharp spike in unlicensed and dangerous plastic surgery that's led to some truly horrifying results. And what you're seeing here right now is the work of a mysterious figure known online as Dr. Kim. He came to prominence on TikTok after these videos showing his patients' uncanny transformations went viral. They're clear examples of what can go horribly wrong with plastic surgery. The facelifts are so tight, it looks completely unnatural.
You know, this reminds me of a Bill Burr bit where he said that he'd rather look like a 50-year-old man than a 30-year-old lizard. Yeah, it just reminds me of that.
And people are paying a fortune for this. Their natural beauty has vanished under an artificial glaze, and you're left wondering whether they can even smile or frown anymore. Now, it makes sense through the lens of cultural...
They can't, bro. Like, they can't move their eyebrows and shit. No, I know about this. Yeah, it's just... What the fuck are you trying to do with yourself? What the hell is wrong with you?
Conformity. The pressures to look young and attractive are so high that people are led to these extremes and are willing to do anything to achieve that sense of perfection. Even going to unlicensed butchers like Dr. Kim. And Tuv's series investigating these images has led to some really dark stories, as it appears that Dr. Kim is not one person but a pseudonym used by shady unlicensed...
And like, so there was this one video I saw, it got recommended to me. It's this like Korean guy who's like 57 and he's like in like super good shape. And they ask him, they're like, you know, what do you do to take care of yourself? And he's like, well, what I do is I work out all the time, I eat lean, and I don't do any drugs. And they're like, okay, yeah, but what's your skincare routine? He's like, I use water on my face and I usually take showers. And they're like, okay, but like, what's the secret though? He's like, well, if you go back to exercising and taking care of yourself and working out regularly and eating properly and not doing drugs. So like, that's really kind of what I do. And they're like, yeah, okay, but like, what could, all right, Jesus, that's too hard. Isn't there a second option? That's I need the video. Yeah, really? That's it? Genetic lottery? Well, it is. Like, obviously, like, the guy's got great genetics. Yeah, for sure. But at the same time, I have a lot of friends that do a lot of drugs. And they look a lot older than I do. They look way older than I do. So, it's better not to do that. Of course, yeah. Good genetics is largely cope. I don't know. Like, I think it really depends.
Plastic surgery company called Shanghai Huzhong Medical Beauty Clinic, and from the evidence he gathered, they've been accused of using expired drugs, have been sued by multiple people and companies, and they've even trafficked counterfeited drugs to use in their practice. Well,
oh my god!
Whilst these pictures definitely aren't indicative of China's entire beauty industry, they do show where criminals can turn a profit from exploiting it.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is a big thing. Like, I've dated girls from China before, right? And so I know a little bit about this. It's, man, bro, like, they are down bad. They are down bad. Jesus.
Even handsome people you see in the before pictures were unhappy with how they looked because their culture made them insecure. It opened the door to criminals looking to make an easy buck, with no regard for what their victims will have to live with for the rest of their lives. And it seems like the West is moving further towards this point of cultural conformity with the help of Instagram, the biggest promoter of these artificial beauty standards. Sure, there's more virtue signaling than ever. Everyday corporate media outlets tell people that differences are good.
You should learn to love yourself. Well, this is the reason. So, like, this is what I think. This is the most toxic thing that I think some girls do, is they talk about how much they want people to have like a, they're like, oh, you should love yourself and everything like that. While they like enable, like, they're like, oh, you're so beautiful. It's like some like massively overweight girl. And it's like, why are you saying this? You're just saying this to make yourself feel good.
And that we should love our own features and characteristics, whatever they might be. But at the same time, it does seem like we're going in the opposite direction. The pressures to have a perfect body and face is so high. Nearly everyone on TV and in films looks pretty much the same, all completely plastic, fake, and hollow. It doesn't matter what the context is in Hollywood now. If your shirt comes off in a movie, you need a six-pack and you need to be on steroids. And then also lie about it. The dating world is by far the best indicator.
I just wish that they'd be honest. I feel like that would help a lot of guys if, like, Zac Efron or, like, who's the fucking guy that plays Jack Reacher? Or like The Rock, they're like, yeah, I do steroids like fucking crazy, and that's why I look like this. Yeah, it's like obviously.
Beauty standards have become. With modern dating apps and our image-focused culture, your face needs to pass the swipe test before you can even play the game.
Says he does.
More and more men and women get pushed out of the system, rejected because they no longer conform well enough to the modern Instagram face beauty standard and its male counterpart. And so much exposure to inhuman perfection on Instagram has warped people's standards and made a whole generation of lonely outcasts.
Incels,
There's even people talking about an incel revolution nowadays, as more and more people get...
Incel revolution. You know what the incel revolution is going to be? Having AI robot girlfriends.
Pushed to the sidelines without any romantic interest.
Yep.
While at the same time, another huge section of people are becoming literally plastic. That's why you should never expose yourself to the toxic sludge that Instagram promotes. As every time you go on the app, you're subtly, subconsciously becoming more and more insecure. Disconnecting from Instagram's twisted beauty standards means that you can actually truly appreciate people that the rest of the world might not even see.
Well, I think that's true. I mean, a lot of the stuff that he says is definitely true. I don't think that really the problem is Instagram. I think that it's mental health. I think people don't have any tools or resources to manage their mental health. By the way, this is a great video. I'm going to link you guys the video. Make sure to give the guy a sub. I've watched Moon's videos before. I really like them a lot. Yeah, Instagram enables it. It does. It does. They enable it, and I just, like, I don't want to get rid of Instagram. I think that people, like, if you feel like Instagram is fucking with your life, you should 100% stop using it. Just stop using it. It's like, hey, my head hurts whenever I hit myself in the face. Well, stop hitting yourself in the fucking face. How about that? Sounds crazy, but there it is. Technology's also outpaced human evolution. Yeah, that's probably true, too. It's parents' advice. Who funds the surgery? Yeah, I think there's that, too. Like, growing up, I mean, like, because I can't really talk too much shit about this, right? Because, in a way, I've had plastic surgery. I've had, like, or cosmetic surgery. Like, a lot of my teeth are fake. Yeah. Like, I have fake teeth. And so that's not the way I originally spawned in as. Yeah, my nose is fake. It's not, actually. I do have a cosmetic nose, though. I can't smell anything out of my nose, and I can't really breathe out of my nose either. But that's more practical. It is definitely more practical. Yeah, it's medical, though. You need that stuff. Yeah, exactly. But, it's a bit different if your teeth need to be repaired. I understand that it's a bit different, but it's not completely different. And that's the only point that I'm making. And so it's not mandatory, though? No, my mom ate plenty of shit with no teeth. She had like 2 teeth or 3 teeth left at the end. So, yeah, I mean, and that was the case for a long time. And so, yeah, no, it was bad, bro. Like, it was awful. And so, yeah, she would, like, have to gum shit down. It was really bad at the end. Yeah. I mean, well, she had that for, like, maybe, like, 7-8 years, honestly. It was brutal. But yeah, anyway, I think Instagram is it's definitely an enabler for mental illness. It is a huge enabler for mental illness. And I think that all social media is. I feel like the only way you can solve this problem is by making people stop blaming Instagram. That might sound like maybe counterproductive, but the moment that people realize that the problem that they have is internal and it's not because of Instagram, then they can actually solve it. But everybody wants to externalize their problems, and they want to look for another reason that it's somebody else's fault. Oh, it's Instagram that's making me. It's because, you know, like, oh, it's the food. It's something else. No, just it's you, man. It's you. It's not just Instagram. It's social media in general. Yeah, exactly. I think so, too. Social media is an accelerant for mental health issues. It is. It absolutely is an accelerant for mental health issues. 100%. There's multitude factors for mental illnesses coming from social media. It's a nice mix of community. By the way, the app is designed. Yeah, I think that like some of the different types of algorithms and things like that should absolutely be criticized for fucking sure. I do it on social medias, and hopefully I hope more people do. I like using social media. I've never had a problem with it at all. Like, I just don't worry about it. I mean, the thing is, like, I know what I look like. I look in a mirror, right? That's it. What's your opinion on guys who make surgeries to make them taller? I mean, if it'll make you happy, do it. Like, I don't care what people do. Do whatever you want to do. It's dumb. Yeah, it's dumb, but, like, guys care a lot about height. So it's like, it's easy to say it's, like, I can say it's dumb. I'm 6'3". It's not a problem for me. I don't have to worry about it because like, but I bet some guy who's like 5'6" could say like me feeling the way that I do about my hair is also dumb if he has a good hairline. So it's like, it's easy to say it's stupid, but if you take a second and you think about it for a minute, it's like, wait a minute, like, you know, they feel the same way that you feel for just a different reason. It's perspective, yeah. Guys' height are like women's reasons for plastic surgery. Yeah, sure, I get it. Using apps on the internet itself, it's like teaching someone how to cast spells and magic. In reality, 7 out of 10 people will use terrible ways. Yeah, it's probably true. Not every guy gives a fuck about height, bro. You're right, but it's like, remember that one Channel 5 video where it was like that weird, creepy pickup artist who said, height matters if you think it does? And I was like, what the fuck? That's like the smartest thing I've ever heard. Yeah, there are absolutely guys that like height doesn't bother them. And he's like such a fucking idiot the entire rest of the time. And then it was like just in that one moment, it's like, wait. Yeah, true. And then he went back to being stupid. But yeah, that one part definitely helped. Is there an epidemic of loneliness? I personally, this is like a really weird perspective to have. I think I'm a lot different than a lot of other people in the way that like, I kind of like being alone a lot of the time. So from my perspective, I think there's an epidemic of people feeling lonely and not feeling comfortable being by themselves. I don't think that's the only thing, and there's a lot more to it than that. But I do think that's a factor that people just don't really talk about a lot. Because there's a lot of people that like back in the day used to work by themselves most days. Think about like a farmer or something like that. Being lonely doesn't equal being alone. Yeah, but like then that becomes very complex to talk about. Well, anyway, let's look at what they have to say.
Hi, welcome to another episode of Cold Fusion. He held his phone close, eyes searching for privacy. The man scarcely noticed the subway riders around him, or the 90-year-old artist sketching his hunched frame from across the train. In the 7 decades since Alex Katz first drew the outlines of commuters on New York City's early morning trains, the chattering riders and newspapers had all but gone. In their places were people who rode alone, together.
That's really cool. I don't know why. I just think that's so fucking cool. That like this same guy used to draw pictures of people looking at the newspaper and it's now people looking at their phone.
Light in their eyes, reflecting the glow of their smartphone. That was a quote from the Dallas Morning News. This short imagery is something that we see and all understand, but never really think deeply about. Why does it seem like less people are talking to each other in public? Why do we collectively prefer the dim glow of a smartphone screen?
I think also another reason why people don't like talking in public is that the amount of people that get recorded in public without their consent has a chilling effect on people wanting to interact with each other. Because like you never know if somebody's trying to talk to you for like a YouTube video or something like that. Or if you say the wrong thing, you could get like recorded and then put on the internet and people like shit on you. I think there's a lot of people that are kind of a little bit on edge because of that. And I don't think that's the main reason. I just think that's a reason that exists. That's all.
Do you remember your childhood neighborhood?
Yeah.
Chances are, you probably felt like it was one big family. Everybody knew each other, celebrated together, and would offer help when needed. But in recent decades, this seems like it's no longer the case. People seem to keep to themselves more. And as a side effect, people are more lonely today than ever before.
I think that for my neighborhood, the reason why it was the case is because like everybody's kids were friends. So like I know my neighbors, sure, but like I'm not actively spending time with them. But like if I had kids and they had kids and the kids were hanging out, then I would know them way better.
The number of men without any close friends has increased 5 times since 1990 and 10 times for women, though the total percentage of men feeling lonely
I wonder why women it's a lot less.
Is higher. On top of this, 3/4 of Gen Z report feeling lonely. Why have we drifted from each other? What is going on here? The trend started before the pandemic and even before smartphones, so it has to be something structural within society. But what?
I still think that like there's a big component of this that people view, like they see media like movies, TV shows, Instagram, and Facebook of like all these people hanging out and having fun together, and like they feel like they need to be doing that. And so there's like a sense of like perceived loneliness and FOMO because you're missing out on these opportunities. Whereas like before, you didn't really see those things happening, or they were portrayed to you in a way that was more authentic. Like, you know, you saw this happen, but it was like very rare. Yeah, they don't see the reality exactly.
Working on this episode for many months. It's an exploration of the loneliness epidemic.
And the reason why I'm bringing this point up is that, like, I think obviously this video is going to talk a lot about like the lack of community, the lack of third spaces, the lack of, you know, like interaction, human interaction, the lack of social friction, like having to call a landline and have the parent pick up and ask to talk to the kid that you're friends with. Like, you know, all of these things probably are going to be covered in the video. But I think that that's not the only vector in which loneliness is created. I think there's also the perception of loneliness that's gotten a lot larger as well.
In this episode, we'll see the definitions of loneliness, its origins, its causes, and who's most affected.
What do you mean by third spaces?
But this episode isn't all bad news. We'll explore some very real ways to combat loneliness. This isn't the kind of video I normally do, but I think it's an important...
But third spaces, by the way, is besides work, besides home, besides school, besides home. So like going to a card shop, going to a mall, going to a skate park, something like that. Another community place where people gather to get together that they don't necessarily have to be at. YMCA. Yeah, there you go.
Topic. So sit back, relax, and let's get into it.
And they don't cost money? Well, some do, some don't.
You are watching Cold Fusion TV.
But in general, like, they're very easy to access.
Loneliness is on the rise globally, and it's being declared a health risk. A top US health expert has warned that loneliness can be as harmful as smoking 15 cigarettes per day.
Holy shit.
In 2017...
I'm not really sure exactly how much credibility I give that, because like some people, I think that's probably true, but is that true on like a general sense? Because can be, right? You use the word can be. Well, video games can be more addictive than heroin for somebody. But is this the norm? Probably not.
Former US Surgeon General Vivek Murthy recognized the growing trend in loneliness based on scientific research. Vivek phrased the phenomena as the loneliness epidemic. But to understand this winding and twisting story, we have to start at the fundamentals. What does it mean to be lonely?
Being alone isn't being lonely, okay.
People sometimes confuse loneliness and solitude. But the fact of the matter is, being alone and feeling lonely are not the same. You can feel lonely even though you're physically with other people, or...
I've never experienced that. And I know other people have that. Like, this is... It's kind of interesting for me to watch something like this, because I just don't... I have? Okay. Yeah, that's really interesting.
Can enjoy solitude without feeling lonely. In a nutshell, loneliness is not always the result of being alone.
Okay.
It's more of a mental state of being. From a neuroscientist point of view, loneliness is actually a state of hypervigilance. It makes you feel unsafe and unsatisfied with your social interactions. It's a type of emotional pain signal. The pain is telling your brain that you need to find someone to talk to. That's what loneliness is, the difference between how much social connection you want and how much you feel you actually have.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I agree with that, sure.
It can be summed up by this line. Loneliness is feeling disconnected from others, even when they're right next to you. If it's temporary, it's the equivalent of being hungry. But when it becomes chronic, that's when it starts affecting your health.
That's interesting. Like, I usually feel like I'm pretty disconnected from other people myself. But I don't think that really makes me feel lonely. Yeah, it isn't about you? Well, no, yeah, of course it's not about me, but I'm talking about it because it's me watching